you all, most recently in our adventures, continued to pursue various interests within Athenian, the Moonset Grove. Telperion, you spent time with family and trained. You and Toby Rama visited Ezra and Meyerlight. Roulette continued to tinker. Jiri putting together the play and working with people on roles and otherwise. Rome tending to the Emerald Gardens, gaining some followers as well as an escort with Tenufail herself, but all sort of building towards the play. And then after the day of the play, having gone very successfully with the crowd there, you all retired for the night, for potentially a final night, at least for a while maybe, at Nightlamp Palace, Keep Loon Song. And some significant relationship progress was made there between two individuals. And now you all begin to wake up the following morning, Morndas, the 4th of Evening Star, functionally December 4th, the day where you intend to venture south into the House Tiarlin's Forest Watch Elves' home of Shademirk, which is to the south, and then further beyond to escort Kinsalo home after potentially seeing to an audience with Kyron Allspring as you pass through House Tiarlin. And with that, us back to our sort of theme song for the Moonset Grove. But how do you all start beginning your day? You're all able to wake up, a successful night of long rest was able to be had.
I think Jerry would get up early and start rousing the troops and get everybody motivated to get on the road. He's excited to be on the move.
I would imagine Kinsalo and Telperion might be also up as well, just early risers innately.
All right, guys, time to pack.
Let's go. Yeah, I guess I think I'd be with Minerva.
Okay.
Just spending time in her. I assume she'd be back for this, so I assume she'd be in her room, and I would just be
she definitely is tonight.
Yeah.
And after you guys had kind of had a night on the town a little bit last night after the play, she had mentioned that she would be staying here in Nightlamp Palace for that night.
And so I'll just be trying to soak up all the time I can with her, and probably just talking some strategy on okay, we're gonna be apart, how we, all that stuff.
Yes, it's unfortunately will take me more time than I've had to imbue the stones with telecommunication magics that we can reliably use. But perhaps when you next return, we can I can have those ready at that time.
And if I see some out in my travels, I could grab some as well, and then Mother, Father could have one, and you could have one. We could have a whole chain in case you start spending more time over at the ruins.
Of course, that'd be fantastic. I also do now know the spell, so I could reach out periodically in the first place, but to give you sort of more reliable access to it, the stones would be at that point necessary.
That's a good idea.
When do you think you all might be returning? How long do you mean to be away?
I don't know that it will be as long as I've been away this time. I think we're going to try to talk with King Mordecai in person maybe, and we have other things we'd like to do, but with some kind of meeting on the future regarding how we're going to, all these nations will be dealing with duress. I hope I'll be back within a month or so. Not really sure.
Good. I like to hear it. Well, please let us get some breakfast refreshment before you all set out. And she will continue to spend her time with her brother. And the rest of you are all free to gather your things, pack up for a journey, gather refreshment. Is there anything you would like to do before you sort of head toward Keep Mirelight, essentially, as the mirrors beneath that place will be your transit southward.
I think we
If
packed
nothing
pretty quickly,
specific,
right? Rome.
sure.
Are you gonna bring any of your plants with you?
Why would I need to do that?
Oh, I don't know. I just don't think you have any items that you would have to pack otherwise.
I don't require any items. I mean, anything that I need is already a part of me.
Wow. Me too. I don't pack a lot either because most of my stuff is in Roulette's bag.
Perfect. Well, as you guys are able to pack up rather quickly and unencumbered, you guys can sort of gather your things and step out of Nightlamp Palace, knowing that the queen herself, as well as theoretically the general and many other Selithar, would likely be in attendance waiting for you at Keep Mirelight for a sort of final send-off as you journey there. And Minerva, having taken breakfast refreshment with all of you, will sort of journey alongside you all toward that location. And we'll actually speak up to both Telperion and Roulette for a moment. Tele, I forgot to discuss with you this morning, but since you've been back, I have been rather surprised to see your intellect at work in a way that I have not seen it before. Investigating ruins, studying political matters, things I usually see to, at least within the scope of our sort of usual capabilities. I wrote a few things down that may be of use to you in the future, should you ever be at all interested in some of the arcane pursuits that I have found suitable to my liking. Here. And she pulls out a small tome, a spell book, and hands it to you. I have written down a couple of sequences of arcane rudimentary understanding, basics, that I think might suit you, that are within my ability to grant. Although there is one spell in there that is a bit different than the rest. It might take a bit more time to master and gain reliable use of. It is strange magic, not exactly divine or primal, nor even quite arcane, something older. But the illustrations I found of it, which I've transcribed for your use on the page, sort of reminded me of the Crescent Knight's forms, and I thought it might suit your sort of kit of what you have available to you. Anyway, just food for thought.
I'll respond. Then I'll take that and I'll say, "Oh, thank you very much. This is a surprise, and I will enjoy reading it as I've met a lot of time translating and all that at our camps and such. But here, I got this for you, and I've been forgetful and haven't given it to you yet. And I take out the Morgan's coat, and give that to her.
This is lovely, not like anything my stewards and attendants have ever been able to craft. Where did you find this?
This was on the in Kaer Methrandine, the other side of in Feywild, right where we came from with Galafor at the base in that small palace there.
Fascinating. Well, I shall wear it well if you'll allow it to remain with me.
Of course.
And Roulette, for you as well. Similar to what I just described to Tele, this magic is of a similar nature. It's older, more strange, and she pulls out from a side pocket a single spell scroll and hands it over to you. I have not quite been able to adequately add this to my memory. Perhaps you might puzzle it out better than I can, if you think you're intellectually gifted enough. Normally, I have found that trying to decipher the sequences of scrolls that are not within my arcane capability to cast are useless to me. However, I suspect that since this scroll is not written in a specific language or sort of capability set, this might be able to be puzzled out by anyone as long as they are proficiently trained in the arcane. You might study it a bit and see if you can gain any use from it.
Arcane is kind of a language of its own. And Roulette is like actively putting away her other notebook that she's still writing in while walking. And will gladly take the spell scroll. I'll see what I can do with it, and I'll report back and let you know what I get.
Very well. Well, looks like we have quite the arrival party waiting for us up ahead. And as you guys approach Keep Mirelight, you see the Erin Hill, Tenufael Loonsong, as well as her husband, the General of Armies, Mathros, and many, many Selethar, perhaps 36 total, just surrounding them and sort of welcoming you to the estate. And let me go ahead and make them visible just for fun. And General Mathros comes out and greets you all. Well, greetings, friends of my son. It has been very good to house you within our city, and I am glad that the relationships we've been able to build set a tone for the future of our sort of negotiations with other nations and within. And we'll come around and greet all of you with a firm and warm handshake. And thank you for the service you have provided to all of us. And Jiri, I particularly enjoyed that play more than I thought I might. So it was well done.
Thanks. If you were to ever visit Dryland, you would see many performances just like that one. So you should stop by and visit someday.
I will consider the invitation. Thank you.
Yeah, well, we got to free it first, so maybe hold off like a year or two before you show up.
Very well. And he will sort of linger toward his son's side and put a hand on your shoulder, just in company, no specific additional words. And then Tenufael steps forward and begins to give her farewell. Words cannot express the aid you have granted us all, the defense, the protection, and we mean to grant that back to you as well as those assaulted in the north and others that are subjected to evildoers' wills. I must admit, although I do not eagerly wish to send my son and his guests into the wilds to the south unaided, I have determined that it would be inappropriate to send Selethar at your side into birdfolk territory when our communications so far are young and relationship tenuous at best at this time. Sending any form of martial units into their lands may be viewed as distasteful. Not to mention the increased training efforts that require the Rangers' full attention at this time and in the foreseeable future. So I will trust that your bonds with each other will be sufficient in your journey. But as a small aid, I would like to provide you all with some small gift. Rome, perhaps you can distribute these to your allies. And she steps forward and hands a small box. Within this box are contained 3 potions of greater healing capability than standard fare potion make. Perhaps, hopefully, you don't need to use them, but should you require them, they are at your use.
I will be sure to use them. Thank you very much.
Well, my son, new friends, is there anything else you require of us before you step through to House Tiarlin? Lady Irene Allspring will be waiting for you at the residence of Chiron for your discussion, whatever you wish to speak with him about. Selethar will be posted at your arrival to escort you to that abode. But is there anything else you wish of us here within our power to grant?
I tap Jerry mentally. Do you want to ask her how to be a good king?
Oh, sure. Telperion's mom, Tayuthael, how do you be a good king?
She does a little bit of even her poised, dutiful expression that is accustomed to receiving surprising information and just moving forward unfazed. She almost does the gif of the guy like blinking. Just for a split second. Oh, what a profound question. Perhaps, should it be available to us in the future, we can spend more time on the subject. But at a moment's study, I suppose my suggestion might be utilize the wisdom of the past, but do not rely on it. Find composure with your own decisions and move forward, as we seek to do in the future of the Ithilwinge ourselves.
I will definitely take that advice into consideration. I'm also curious who you think is the greatest king or ruler of all of Eridon, because I should probably go ask them as well.
He is younger than I, and I have never met the man specifically. I have heard great things about this beast king we seek a moot with in the near future. I am admittedly eager to conversate with him. Arethel and Elena, who have often taken wing to House Thantoar in the east, have engaged with him at least once and were surprised at his regality and forcefulness, though with the ability to maintain tender consideration for his people. Certainly all traits I would admire.
Ooh, I know him. I know Mr. Beastie. I will ask him when we see him next. I'm sure we will see him soon. He's a good friend of ours.
So I have come to learn. Very well. Well, unless there is anything else, please allow Maethros to escort you inside to the mirrors, and you are free to journey south. And as you are all sort of escorted up, Minerva just gives you a little nudge, Telperion, in friendly camaraderie as you kind of leave her side, and Maethros will step in front of you and begin to lead you with a couple Selethar into Mirelight Estate, Keep Enalaran.
I'll just go say bye. As
Sure.
Maethros is leading us, I'll go give my mom one final goodbye. Knowing that she probably doesn't want to hug in public, but I'll just, go up to her and bid farewell. And
she'll take your hands and clasp them gently but firmly.
And say, there's nothing else I could ask, and thank you for everything and the welcome that you showed my friends here, which enabled the city to welcome them too.
Thank you and your friends from shaking us from our trance. And with a gentle smile, warm, you leave your mother, join your friends, and you guys are able to move into the familiar spaces of the Enalaran Keep into the foyer and then to the basement further within. Delete to new fail. She does not join you walking in. She just sees you all in, led by Mathros. You're able to venture down to the mirrors. Familiar to you, one transcribed with the description of Thantor, the Ashwood Elves to the east, and Tiarlin, the Forest Watch Elves to the south. And you identify the Forest Watch as your destination, journeying into the Shade Murk, as that territory is known. And should you wish, one of the Selethar will move forward, prick their finger along the broken glass, it knits back together, and is available to walk through. I hope to see you back again soon, son. At your leisure.
I promise to
You
get
are
back
all-
in a single piece.
Please do. And do bring that sword with you next time.
I shall not easily part with it again, I assure you. No
Good to
sword
hear it.
will I easily part with again.
And as you all step through the mirror into the basement of House Tiarlin, one of the structures within House Tiarlin that you have done battle within, familiar to you all, you see a contingent of 4 Selethar soldiers who greet you on your arrival and say, Lady Irene is waiting. Is there anything you require before we make our way straight there? Very well. And they lead you up the stairs through that basement space, up through a structure. Seems to be an old abandoned keep that is likely was utilized by when this was the capital city once upon a time, was perhaps an embassy of its own, but has been unused for a time. It has not fallen into disrepair. It has still been maintained, but a rather grand building. But as you step out of that building and into the Shade Murk, the city of the Forest Watch Elves, also, I will say, Roulette, with your passive investigation as you left that basement, you did notice that all of the crates of weird fire that you had discovered had been removed, none of them visible. But you begin to be led through the city of Shade Murk, home of the House Tiarlin, the Forest Watch Elves. Very similar in motif and architecture to Athenian, but perhaps a bit wilder. Slightly less prim and proper and more enhanced in its integration with the surrounding nature. And the general organization of the building's or the city's layout does remind you of this slightly smaller layout of Caer Methrandine, its sister city in the Plain of Fairy. And eventually you all begin to arrive at the Allspring residence, where a woman stands outside in waiting. Long, beautiful dark hair that goes almost to her knees, falling over an ivory robe. And she greets you all. Hello, Prince, and your guests. Welcome to the Allspring residence. I thank you for journeying here today and would like to emphasize the rarity of audiences that he takes. He has not spoken with someone other than myself in several moons passings. I believe he has hosted audience with the Arenil herself a year prior or so, but does not take guests. This is a substantial departure from his norm. I ask that you respect the nature of his peace. Be gentle in whatever discussions you wish to have, and do not be offended with his bluntness if it occurs. he is perhaps ill-practiced in social conversation these days and detached from normal social normities. But it is my understanding that he wishes to make use to you any insight and wisdom he can give. Is there anything you would like to know before we venture inside?
Just could you tell my friends here a little bit more about Kyron? They haven't heard of him. And my friend here, Rome, she's curious about him in particular.
Very well, of course. Well, Kyron Allspring will be nearing his 1000th year of life. He will reach that timestamp in the next few weeks, though that would be the latest possible he could survive until. Realistically, he could fade into the ether, claimed by the Feywild at any moment, as would all elves reaching this age. A rather peaceful transition, though it brings no lack of sadness accompanying it, but it is a beautiful circumstance not to be mourned. Kyron is heralded in our people as perhaps the most recent great Crescent Knight. Just as Prince Loonsong has studied the traditions of, as many cadets still train in, though many fruitlessly. And Vanya Duskvale, Prince Telperian's senior, and one of Kyron's students, now reigns as captain of the Crescent Knights. But the Crescent Knight martial forms are a highly regarded, rare form of elven fighting that has been maintained through eras, it is fair to say. The first elves, our histories indicate that Sehanine herself, the Moonweaver, the goddess of the moon and Corellin's favored ally, once first taught the Moon Elven people how to push and pull the tides and then push and pull each other. An ebb and flow of psionic telepathics and telekinetics available once upon a time to many or even all moon elves, and now, alas, to very few. Kyron was one of the final individuals to showcase full adept mastery of these capabilities. Vanya having waned significantly, and the other cadets even further so. It would appear Prince Loonsong here is something of an oddity with burgeoning abilities, though we do not know why. Kyron has been a good man all of his life, often aiding various verdant lords of the armies in his expertise in tactical and military training, as well as being one of the last ones to breach outward from the Emerin more often in his youth. He would often lead scouting parties and lead at the vanguard of trade caravans, engaging in commerce with people in southern Croatia hundreds of years ago, as well as other orc tribes dwelling in the forest, goblins, some lizard folk. Once upon a time, we used to engage in a bit more stray commerce than we now do. That is a bit about Kyron. Is there anything else you wish to know before meeting him yourself? If not, we can venture inside. Again, I ask that you be respectful, quiet if you can. It is jarring, perhaps more than most elves, to be woken from a trance such as this, though perhaps he has already sensed your presence. But nevertheless, let us continue inside. And she begins to walk up the steps, pushes open a beautiful, tall, thin, wooden red door, allows you all in. There's a small sitting room there in the foyer, with beautiful upholstered chairs and velvet couches. But she sort of gestures for you to continue down a hallway deeper inside. And then that hallway spirals into a wooden carved staircase. What you imagine is carved from the very tree this abode is sort of carved from. As you go deeper into the structure, down into the root entangled basement of this abode. And as she opens a final door, you enter a small stone room, maybe 20 by 20 or so. And you see Chiron Allspring, his back toward you. Beautiful dark hair, though weathered, not grayed in the classical sense of aged humans. Elves don't suffer the same sort of frailty, but you can tell the weathered nature of his hair does indicate some sort of age. Pulled into a deep braid that goes all the way to the floor, though his legs do not. He is floating about 3 feet up in the air, his legs crossed in a very meditative pose, facing away from you all. I will leave you with him for a moment, for however long your discussion needs. And Irene makes herself scarce, closing the door behind you, and you are left in the company of Chiron Allspring.
Whoa, he can float. We should ask him how he does that.
Which you certainly should. Chiron, hello. Thank you for seeing us.
As you speak his name and engage in conversation, I would like everyone to please make a wisdom saving throw. Damn, Jerry. And Toby. How about you, Tele?
Not good, not good. Just debating if I want to use it. What's it called on it?
Alfie does not need to make one.
An
Oh, but
inspiration.
Kinsala will.
I'm going to use an inspiration on it. I rolled a 7, but I'd rather not start out that bad. I rolled a 1 that time. So 8 it is.
Okay. Well, all of you, as you almost sense the awakening awareness of Chiron from a trance, you feel pressure surge into all of your minds as a highly competent and practiced telepath begins to probe the minds of those in his company to gain a deeper understanding of those in his presence. And you hear in all of your minds, fascinating. Some of you are able to repel my influence, granting to me only what is on the surface, though that will be useful in understanding. I am delighted to hear that I heard no falsehoods from Irene. I welcome you all, non-elven friends of young Prince Loonsong. Diverse company indeed. It reminds me warmly of my times outside our forests. And for a moment, you feel like this is auditory information, but you just sense that it's not. There's no echo off the walls. He's speaking telepathically to all of you at once. But alas, in my detachment from our world, I fail in general social discourse often and wish to allow you all the chance to grant me better understanding of yourselves, and perhaps I can share final knowledge before the plane of fairy claims me as its crop. Please, do me the honor of introducing yourselves.
Toby will step forward.
I think Roulette Tinkerton back to him.
Roulette Tinkerton. And all of you hear this conversation. You even hear Roulette's thought to Chiron, this sort of amplified network of telepathic communication having been established. It is good to meet you, Roulette. Flashes of memory pass through your mind of home, in a northern land I have never walked upon. Who else stands in our presence?
Rome steps forward and thinks back to him. I am Rome, one of the 4 elemental mytholoid. I am of the earth, and I extend a vine out to him and produce a white flower for him to take.
As you extend your vine out, growing a white flower on your root, it sort of just detaches and begins to slowly orbit his person, hovering around him. Rome, one of the individuals I thought might repel my influence. Though I am able to pierce your mind and see the innate complex network there within, though I dare not lose myself within it. It is a pleasure to welcome you into my abode. Who else stands here before us now?
Jiri will think back to him and say, Jiri, Jarl Jawland, Jinjinacy, it's good to meet you. Very curious about your floating nature. Have you been to Orin before?
I know not the place of which you speak, though perhaps there is subject for discussion, as one who hails from the elemental plane of air, closely tied with that of Airdrie, one of our goddesses of the Seldarin. Welcome, Jiri.
If you haven't heard stories about the elemental plane of air, I've got a lot to tell you before you pass on. It's definitely a story you want to hear.
Very well. I should wish to learn more.
What kind of nudge Consalo with the mention of Airdrie?
He steps forward and sort of thinks, and you all hear his thoughts echo in the space as if audio conversation. My name's Kinsalo. I hail from the Birdfolk to the south. We're working to build a bridge between our people and yours, if we can. Prince Telperion has made a great impression on me, as have all of these in our presence, and I will be committing myself in the future to working to establish that bridge however I can. Yes, as you should. Our people's seclusion is no prideful feat. Stagnation clouds our ability to understand. A noble goal indeed, young Kinsalo.
And I am Toby Rama, a servant of the Lord Kelimvor, he who preserves the balance of life and death.
Balance. A subject for often contemplation and purpose. Noble, in my opinion. I know not of your deity, but I welcome you into our lands. Welcome.
And I'll not just thinking in my own head, but like doing my telepathic, like putting thoughts into his mind. We'll share. And you know of me, but I've never met with you before, and I appreciate the audience and the chance to learn from you before you go. I'm Telperian Moonsong, and very pleased to make your acquaintance. And I have many questions.
Ah, yes, Prince. It is in some ways a shame that my trancing, though it has brought me closer with the otherworldly ties to our ancestry and divinity, that I have not been able to establish connection with the burgeoning Crescent Knight cadets such as yourself. Word of your advancements do precede you. Irene has spoken to me from word given to me by both your father and mother. Individuals themselves that I had the pleasure of knowing in my youth. I am glad to hear that the remaining influence of the Crescent Knight traditions perhaps retain hope in your journey. For I fear that myself and Vanya would have been the last of our kind. I would normally be curious to gather information from you on what you think might be the case. But satisfying my curiosity will give no tangible benefits to our people at this time. I merely request that you continue your path, how you feel compelled to it. And perhaps if Sayanine has blessed the journey, will facilitate the growth of the forms once more. But you mentioned questions. Perhaps you have them. Perhaps your friends have them. I will do my best to search the ancient histories benefited me through my past lives' memory, though it will drain me of my life's essence as I reach far into the past. What do you wish to know?
I look to Rome.
I think back to him.
You guys are muted.
Yeah,
Rome
your
lost
audio
you.
just cut out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I look into his eyes and I ask him, in your vast...
Just as a note, his back is still toward all of you all. He is still kind of facing the wall, a beautiful carved tapestry of beautiful artwork on the stone. You're all behind him.
Oh, got it.
So
Okay.
for this whole time, he is still faced away from you all.
Okay. Well, I stare at the back of his head. Very nice. And I ask him, in his vast lifetime, has he ever interacted with another of my kind? And if so, do you know where to find them?
I do not believe I have in my life's journey, ever heard the word mytholine until you have just described it aloud within this very chamber. However, as I search my past lives for understanding, I land on a memory near the time of the old war. It offers me further insight in the question you ask. I believed Tale of the Mytholine used to be taught more prominently. It was said that 4 beings of fey creation and through the use of grand elemental power cultivated by the preserver, Corellin, were gathered to guide the first Eladrin and teach them of the lands of Faerie in the Feywild. They were each bound to a separate purpose, as I understand. An eternal bind that could not be broken in death. Should they fall, they would be reborn a time later. And most recently, all participated in the Northern War that we have come to know as the Sundering. Word of a being of primal earth who took many forms and walked alongside the mortals, leading her winged allies in committed purpose toward balance. A being of winged fire who stoked the flames of life for those at her side, urging them ever onward amidst uncertainty and regret. A fickle being of pure storm, boundless in form, though taking at the time the guise of the giant kin he marched up beside. And a being of destructive deluge, who raised the continent with floods and ruin at the side of the dark god. In my estimation, only the location of 2 of these beings can be supposed. One of which, having glimpsed into her infinite mind, seems to accompany us in this very room. The other, rumored to accompany the Giant King in their exodus from the northern lands after that war, dragging storms with them along their journey to the far southeast. His name evades my past lives' knowledge, but perhaps his title, granted to him by the orcish denizens of those sundered lands, may suffice. He was known as the Sky Terror, or in orcish, Drakkar.
We know a Jadrakar.
Oh, yeah. Wait, that's my evil brother. Oh, they can't be the same person, right?
Your mind, in its innate defensive capabilities, has repelled my ability to push further into your mind. And I cannot speak as to whether these are one and the same.
Does this person have control over lightning? And are they very evil?
Tales of the Mytholine painted none of them with the mortal morality of goods and evils, but merely bound to primal purposes. I cannot suppose that this individual might have been evil in the classical sense. But
Yeah.
as a being of boundless storm, I would suppose that the forces of thunder and lightning are easily within their purview.
Yeah, sounds like my brother. Okay, guys, we're gonna have to do something about this, I think. It sounds like Jadrakar is here on the material plane, probably hunting me down, trying to kill me. We better be on our guard from here on out.
Cool.
As Chiron sort of completes divulging this information that he knows about this topic, you begin to see small little golden flecks just drift off of his form.
So, Karen, before you vanish, I'd like to ask you about the Crescent Knights and if I bear the sole responsibility for their continuing. Can you tell me, in the initial purpose, what is like the main mission or value I should try to keep going?
Did you know that the Ithilwinge have not always called this forest our home? This is something I have learned in my enhanced connection with my past lives' memories. In eras past, we used to be a coastal people, dwelling along the shores of Ara's many oceans. But the world was bigger then. I have long held firm in my own personal belief that seclusion has stifled the children of the moon. This is primarily the reason I welcome you into this conversation today, when I have turned away so many others. The perceived struggles of a stagnating people and an otherwise idyllic society do not warrant my attention as I detach myself from worldly shackles. But you, young prince, have taken what I can only believe are crucial steps toward the betterment of our people. In my summation, you have left home in pursuit of our lost cousin kin, which has brought you into the company of those who you would have otherwise not engaged. And furthermore, you now welcome foreigners into our midst, ones we can learn from and grow alongside. Surely, these actions are not disconnected from the expanding of your psionic arts. I say this detached from ego, only in the pursuit of sharing knowledge. My greatest accomplishments amidst our people was not the services I provided to the Ithilwinge, but the cultural exchange I engaged in with the other forest-dwelling peoples of the Emerald, of the trade caravans with the people in southern Croatia. As a coastal people in our past, we likely would have engaged with diverse multitudes of individuals. Just as we had learned, in theory, of the pushing and pulling of the tides and the ebb and flow of cultural exchange from Sehanin and those we may have first encountered when we journeyed as Eladrin into these lands. striving to learn from others is the primary focus of my meditation these days. I cannot speak to the exact intent or mechanical structure within which our psionics thrive and grow, but it lays alongside engaging with those not our own. I do not know why and cannot guess toward as much, but it is the most tangible pattern I can discern.
Well, then I will continue with that mission. I'm glad that's what I wanted to do in the first place, actually. I'll keep pushing them. I do have another question. You speak of past lives. I've recently started, I think, seeing echoes of dreams from my previous life. One my mother supposes is touched by the war of which you speak. Do you know, could you help me make a connection with that past life? She says
as you see additional flecks of silver and gold drifting off his form, and you can see now a fuzzying at the edges, knowing that there is a limit of questions you guys can gain valuable insight from him, but it's not wasting away his form just yet. And with a third question being posed, he responds back, "Might you divulge to me information that has made itself available to you within what you speak of?"
And I'll like kind of do a little summary in my mind and like try to give visuals of the trance terrors I've been having, and then I'll connect with what my mom said about the LA lore and the war, and then the fact that it started when I went back to the Feywild and came back, and then it triggered twice.
You feel, as you divulge those memories, almost helping him with a visual understanding of your mind, you feel the continued pressure of his mind probing the depths of your mental state. And it has been more than a minute. This is a much more enhanced version of the capability you have available to you. And you get a sort of satisfactory understanding that he was able to gain information from what you had provided. Fascinating. Conversations with the Aranil have further expounded upon your curiosity in that form. As you might have supposed in ages past, much love and consummation was exchanged between our cousinkin, between Ithilwinge and Alealor. Though, as you know, childbirth was virtually impossible between our two species. Perhaps at the will of the gods, separating the children of moon and sun with separate capabilities that could not be shared. Perhaps for other reasons. And yet, I, in particular, can offer one exception. Only whispered rumors of the old Great War's events have reached our elven ears in its aftermath due to our seclusion. One of which speaks of a woman champion favored by both Corellin and Sehanin, who rode atop a great winged steed, swords of splendid grandeur in each hand, the deva of her deities behind her, and the solar of the human's prime goddess at her side, her consort, waging war together amidst the other champions of the humans against the dark gods. The tales sing in faded words of this woman, Cecilia, referring to her as Duthvar, half-elven. However, I will indulge a suspicion that the clumsy tongue of humankind has muddled the truth over time. I recall memories of my own past lives, where I lay with a radiant elven woman of warm, dark complexion and silvery blonde braids of hair. In a later memory of her, we held a child. Our child. Not Duthvar, but Dwethvar. Not half-elven, but of two halves. A child of both sun and moon. Your memories, young Prince Loonsong, should they contain memories of that great war, the beast known as the Dark God, memories only available to the Alealor, you could only have these were you descended from someone that had participated in that war. Famously, no Ithilwinge journeyed north. Across all of our scholars' knowledge and research, there were no exceptions. And yet, a sun-elven soul cannot be born into a moon-elven body. But perhaps a Dwethvar soul might.
I do think I've seen one of these swords, actually. Wielded by a knight in the north.
As a final note having to do with those days, knowing that you search for our cousin kin, I have often wondered why the Ithilwinge are so stubbornly confused about our cousin kin's whereabouts. In my connection with the past and my age and wisdom, it seems such a logical consideration. When they ventured into the Great War in the North, I see but two possibilities. They were prideful in victory, refusing to return to their reluctant and irrelevant cousins to the forest in the South, or, perhaps more likely, tragedy prevented their homecoming. But no matter the answer, it surely lies in the sundered lands to the north. And with that, additional flecks begin to drift off his form, 3 questions having been asked. Though he is beginning to become slightly translucent as an individual. You're seeing more of the relief carving on the stonework past him, through him.
Mike
What
Jacoby.
else is there?
Mike Jacoby
wish to
party. I obviously have one more question I'd love to ask, but like I feel very bad that I'm just having this dialogue, so I want to check in and see how you guys are doing. Like, pause for a sec.
Out of a divulsion of lack of stress, you get the sense that with the rate at which he is sort of disapparating, You think you can get 2 more questions in.
Oh.
Available to anyone in the party who wishes to gain insight about a topic as long as it is within his knowledge base.
I have a question, but I don't want to take a question away from someone else.
Oh, yeah, we should decide on what questions to ask. Maybe like what his favorite color is, or where we could find Drakar, or what does it mean to be a good king? He probably knows a lot of good kings. I don't know. What do you guys want to ask?
Well, I believe that he knows where Jajakar may be because he mentioned that he was to the east or southeast, I believe.
The far southeast was what he had mentioned. Yes.
Yeah, southeast. I would like to ask him, since he will be leaving this plane of existence, what word he would like us still on the material plane to know of his life. Like, what sort of message does he want to leave this plane with? But I don't know if anyone else would want to ask that question.
I would like one of the two. Like, I'd like to ask him about Crescent Knight forms, since he's the last I could learn from. So one of the questions I'd like to reserve, and the other one I will not hinder any of you. Toby, do you want to work with Rome? You love old knowledge. Maybe the two of you could craft a question that grants you both wisdom.
Well, if we ask a bunch of questions in one sentence, he'll have to answer all of them.
While this is a rare opportunity, I do not feel I have something to warrant this man's passing.
Rome, I asked my mother when I was planning this meeting, and she said not to. I asked her if there's anything I should find out on behalf of my people, and she said this was a chance for us to learn, a very rare one. So I would say I think if he has wishes for the future, he's probably already expressed those. So if there's some deep learning we'd like from his long life, perhaps we could serve the future by learning of it from him now. Colette, do you have anything you've been curious about?
Nothing that warrants disapparating this man.
I guess it's what's your favorite color then, if we can't decide anything better.
Well, maybe I can ask a question and then the rest of you could think, since obviously his favorite color is green. Kyron, with your remaining moments, could you instruct me in my own psionics? And I'm going to try to teach others after I've taught myself. And as you said, I think seeking the coasts and seeking information and sharing is the path I'd like. But I would love any instruction you could give me to aid me in my own growth as a Crescent Knight. Especially because you'll be gone soon and I'll be carrying on the tradition with Vanya. And anything I discover will be on my own through experimentation and time.
Any tangible forms or instruction I could divulge have already been passed not only down to Vanya, but other knights trained in the forms, even if the psionics were not made available to them. There is little I could do to instruct you further than your own actions of proceeding out into the world, learning from others and expanding your mind, which you have done so. However, in my connection to our past a time when the Curam, Roshir, and Glamdrin were more at their height. If you will allow me, I can press further into your mind than you are likely used to. It will likely injure you, but I could transfer the remaining mote of my own energy into your mind, like a seed that will need to be nourished and grown. Perhaps this will serve you well, should you wish it.
Absolutely.
Very well. I would ask that you do not resist, as I have never undergone something like this before, and should your mind repel my influence, it may not take hold. I do apologize. A young elf such as yourselves' mind is not yet accustomed to having such expansive thought pressed into it. A surge of psionic energy just suffocates your brain like a spike from all angles being driven through your mind, and it hurts like hell, but you're able to grit your teeth and steel yourself and push through it. You do take 24 points of psychic damage, and you see the continuing fading form of Chiron exacerbated by this effort, as he has placed a seed of psionic energy into your mind. I fear my spirit will fade at any moment at this time. How might I make use of the last remaining knowledge I have to share? And if there is no particular question, I am willing to search my mind to grant advice. But I would much rather indulge your curiosity and better your understanding.
I take Toby and like wrap my vines around him and like push him forward towards Chiron.
Toby, I have an idea. Can I help you formulate it?
I say before Toby can respond, I believe Toby has wisdom in the question that he is meant to ask.
As sort of a predecessor to my friend here, Telperion, I would ask for some knowledge about this vision he has been saying. We have heard of it matching the dark god that was at the forefront of the Sundering. And I've only heard in vague answers what the outcome of the war was. And I fear for my friend if somehow his influence still presses on him.
I will search not only mine, but the lives of my past selves as well, for insight I can share about that time. And though I am perhaps, as of the Ithilwinge, ill-equipped to grant full clarity and insight into those days that we did not participate in, it would seem that one of my past lives, who birthed the Dwethvar known as Cecilia, as well as another scout, as well as myself who led as vanguard in trade caravans, perhaps have more insight to share than the otherwise seclustered kinds of our people. Tales from tribes, tales from populaces not our own, have granted me additional information about those days, though still limited. As many know and have come to understand, even in our culture, the Sundering scarred the lands of the northern nation of Durast. I believe they have a word for the region, the Sunderlands. And Toby Rama and even Jiri would immediately know that there is a location, a kind of scarred plains desert, sort of a cracked landscape known as the Sunderlands within the heart of Daenor, which is famously regarded as, hey, the old war either took place here or there was conflict here to some degree. And Chiron continues, as I understand it, it was rumored that the Dark God and the water primal at their side and the armies of devilkin and demonkin they commanded eventually fell to the warring champions of humankind and giantkin and our cousinkin, with rumoredly the final mortal wound being delivered by none other than herself, Cecilia. Although it was also told in tales that the god, dark and terrible in its form, after receiving a great blow to its core, drained of its vitality, was still able to flee from those lands, and perhaps now lay slain in some other hidden landscape. It was also told that its scales were an odd sight. Not void-like in their darkness, but rather the presence of every pigment and color known to mortal kind. It is even rumored that when it took wounds and its scales were injured, cracked, or shorn off and fell to the ground below, that this wound took on a dull and unassuming appearance of standard iron-like visual. And perhaps its body, slain, now lies unclaimed, a treasure of innumerously powerful scales upon its form. Certainly subject for jealousy, temptation for those who lust for power. And finally, it is said that when the Dark God's final living essence disappeared from the world, It is said that the human's prime goddess Modera, finally, having been the most drained of her essence in this conflict, lending the most aid to humankind, entered a slumber so deep that it dimmed all of life and light for years in the Sundering's wake. And at this time, as you continue to look at Chiron, his body is virtually entirely transparent. Only the faintest collection of slightly more dense particulate ethereal gold flecks along his outline, giving sense to any form he has left. And as that continues to expand and diffuse, you hear one last phrase in guidance issued to all of you. Fear no misstep along your life's path, for the cycle will continue unbroken. And with that, he transitions into fully golden threads of immaterial particulate essence that stretch and expand and diffuse into invisibility in the ether until the physical form of Chiron Allspring exists no more.
How do we defeat Jajakar? And what's your favorite color? Oh, dang. I wish we had 2 more questions.
I walk up and I just want to like investigate the spot where he was.
Sure. Go ahead, give me an investigation check.
12.
Nothing apparent, like no, should I say, to use what feels like a crass word for the circumstance, like ectoplasm. There's no like immaterial sort of resource left behind, no flecks of tangible light anymore, completely having dissolved into the ether, including the robe he wore. There are no remains on the ground, though the sigil he was sort of hovering over is one of Corellin.
Okay. Toby, that was a good final question.
That was just me trying to gauge how well I was just kind of witnessing his passing and just reflecting on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you had a keen eye for the circumstances.
I didn't know that's what it looked like when an elf transcended. Shall we go talk to Iran then?
If that is what you all wish to do, you are certainly welcome to exit the chamber. And as soon as you open the door, you see Irene standing there, tears streaming down her face. He warned me in his last moment. I am thankful that you all were able to see him in his transition. I hope you all will remember what a beautiful event it can be for an elf's natural life to end in this way. I would wish that all mortals could experience such a peaceful and harmonious end. It wipes her tear, and although I have known this was coming, still brings sadness to my heart in a way. Though more jubilation. Please allow me to escort all of you to a small common room. I have a few matters to see to in the aftermath of his passing. your company is welcome to remain here for as long as you require. I will bring teas and shortbreads if you wish to sit and discuss for a moment, but I will likely make myself scarce. As his final guests, you are free to utilize the abode as you wish for however long you need today.
As she goes, I'll just grab her shoulder and be like, as you said when we arrived, it's not truly to be mourned. And he gave his final moments to give us as much helpful insights into the past as he could. It's very courageous and kind of him.
I wipe away one of her tears and say, with death comes new life. We should celebrate that.
Indeed, no more true than the elven cycle. Thank you all for being here and providing him company in his final moments. And with that, she leads you to a small sitting room near the foyer of the abode, where there's beautiful, soft purple velvet lounge sofas and beautiful, finely upholstered silken back chairs. She brings out a small porcelain platter of some cups of very aromatic elven tea, a small array of shortbread morsels for refreshment. Is there anything you require of me before I take my leave into the city? There are numerous individuals I need to speak with and begin preparations. Very well. Well, you are left to your own devices. As I understand it, the Selethar to our southern gate will allow you to leave the Shade Murk as soon as you need to. Thank you all for being here. And she will take her leave.
I'll psionic pulse and gain 16 HP back.
Okay. Well, at this time, you guys are all left in the sort of foyer sitting room of this abode, free to take a moment if there's anything you want to discuss with each other or plan for. Otherwise, pretty much in the immediate future, you guys are free to start the adventure southward toward the tree that Korik suggested Telpurian would know the destination for your transport.
We want to do a little bio break and then we can kind of go over what just happened.
I think that's a great spot for it. Cool.
Wait, hang on. No, oh my god. Wait, hang on.
Okay.
Dude, I have so much going on in my fucking head right now.
That
And
was like-
very little of it has to do with Toby.
That was lore overload of like in a good way of like deep
Dude,
lore to the world.
Your body is inhabited by the soul of the person who slew the Dark God.
No, I guess reincarnated of essentially.
So like,
Yeah.
one of your past lives killed the fucking Dark God.
Well, I want to check it because like,
I don't know if she did the killing blow, but
well, like, was that what he was saying that Cecilia was a
Dwethfar.
Dwethfar?
And so that's the only way you might have memories of someone who saw the Dark God, because
Oh, and she obviously is famously the one involved in that, so that would make sense that that was my previous life.
and you saw her in your trance in like what, session 2?
Yeah, no, that's super valid. So also, it wouldn't be a previous life because that was 1,000 years ago. So it wouldn't be the most immediately preceding mine. There would have been. Oh, unless it took that long for her to reincarnate.
Christopher, wouldn't it be a DH instead of a TH? Or am I
Hang
wrong
on.
on that?
No, it's not every time that's the
Okay.
case.
Wait, so she's on top of a flying steed with Modera's solar at her side, Is it a Corellin and a Sehanine Deva up and behind her as she's wielding Elamir and Fengamore?
I think that would align with
That is-
Telperian's vision he saw in episode 2 of the campaign.
That is the
or
coolest
the
visual
picture.
I've ever heard in my fucking life.
I'm also going to try my best not to divulge clarification too much on things he said. You guys can suppose how you wish to.
And then I don't even remember how we started talking. I don't remember if Roulette told us about it, but wasn't there like a troop of storm giants, the Levin's army near you or something?
Yep, I learned that about when we were in Forest Hollow in a library talking about.
But that doesn't
the
necessarily
giants
line up with the direction that he indicated.
Well, there were 11 giant kin in the ancient past that occupied the Skycap mountain range north of Storm's Edge. They famously left that land after the Sundering. So I think it actually does align with Roulette's previous information.
Tim, will you check the chat?
Oh.
Oh, I guess.
I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm not gonna give you the spelling because he didn't give you the spelling. He just said a word.
Oh,
I also think we might assume it would be a J.
And it was an orcish title, as mentioned by Kyron.
Okay, well, how about this? Tim, how does Jadrakar... Is there a J in Jadrakar? You guys are muted.
It's J-A space D-R-A-K-A-R.
Jrakar.
Oh.
Jara. Car.
That's what I was curious about. Okay. Jadra. J. Okay. Got it.
Yes, as mentioned by Kyron, theoretically, a title given to the Sky Terror, being of storm from ancient past.
And he mentioned Mythaline reincarnation. Holy shit, that was so much, and I'm so fucking excited.
I was excited to develop a lot of topics he knew things about, and just see which ones you guys asked about.
Oh. When Telperian saw that vision of what we assume would be Cecilia, did she have, like, split-colored hair?
Does Telperian remember anything about that?
I'll check my notes.
I mean, surely she did. Or
She had a sword in each hand. I think she was cloaked and robed. I don't even know that I'll check. The hair probably did matter a lot. I don't know if I noted it.
Oh my god, I have so much note organizing to do after this.
But yeah, you guys are free to discuss or move forward or however you want to lead the way for the rest of the session as you find yourself in the common room with some refreshment available. Also, knowing that there might be some adventuring coming, this could be a good chance to potentially short rest, reattune things if you want to change up those capabilities before you venture southward. Whatever you guys want to do.
Roulette.
We're going to be...
I was just going to ask Steve. You had mentioned Roulette was probably planning to take the infusion off my armor. Had you done that yet? Not yet. Okay. I just, because I still had that. I wanted to make sure.
Still yours.
Hell yeah.
We'll be venturing through the Emerin, right? So I think I might try to outmenu Cloak for the journey.
Yeah, Telperian, do you know the lands south of? It sounds like Cork maybe thought you had been there or knew of the tree. Do you have much knowledge about the the trek between here and that tree?
I should be able to lead us there. Do I have knowledge of like creatures or things or that I would expect to go like see?
Go ahead and make a nature check for me.
Nature.
15.
Yeah, other than the fact that you know how to navigate to the tree, the weeping willow, as it's called, which has a name actually, Tathar near. You know how to get there, and you know that the reason it's sort of a natural geography, a trek of it's boglands. Everything south of the Shade Murk is boglands, marshlands. For usually a couple days journey, the Weeping Willow is within that territory. So you'll have to travel through an area known as the Briar Marshes.
Oh, got it.
So swamp terrain.
Yes, I don't think it's going to be particularly fun. The Shade Mech is known for bog-like nature, so be ready for some unpleasant terrain. And then, what did you call it? The Briar Mark? Wait, sorry.
The Briar Marshes.
And then, what was the name of the tree?
I'll throw it in chat. Tathar Near is the name of the Weeping Willow, a large willow tree that grows out of the swamp regions in that area that you know to be the location.
Another exception to the DH rule. What's going on?
It's not every time.
Well, what was shared doesn't change anything we're about to do, but it does certainly give us some context for different pieces of this puzzle we've acquired over our time together. Toby, did anything that he said strike you?
I mean, there's certainly lots of information, but I am just still in awe of what it is for an elf to move on. That is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
Toby, or excuse me, Mike, you're kind of low volume. Anyway, you can turn it up slightly.
I think you guys should move the mic closer to your as well, or is it your headphones?
How is that sounding?
Oh, so much better.
Gotcha.
better.
Perfect. Well, you guys are welcome to continue discussing if you like, or just let me know when you guys decide you want to start venturing south.
I don't think there's any need to stick around.
No, we gotta go kill Jadrakar. He's weak now that he's on the material plane. I'm gonna go wrestle him. Let's go, guys.
So as we start trekking, Jiri, he mentioned he was in the form of a giant. Does that sound right to you, that your brother was very large?
Oh yeah, he can be real big. That's why he always beats me in wrestling. But this time I'm gonna beat him.
And he's also related to Rome, potentially? This
Maybe.
is weird.
Rome, do you know my brother?
Not in any of my memories, but it seems as though your brother and I are of the same maker.
Wait a minute. If you're of the same maker, and Jadrakar is my brother, that means you're my sister.
Jiri, I don't know if that's quite how that works.
Wait a minute. Rome, we're siblings. This is crazy. Your dad is Adras the Stormbender.
No, I do not believe that we are siblings, Jerry.
Then
I
maybe
think
we're
your
half
mind is
siblings.
jumbled.
Maybe you have the same mom as me.
I will concede to the fact that we are constructed of the same molecules and matter, and thus are related in the sense that we are made of the same particles.
Yeah.
But we are not related.
Come here, give me a hug, sister.
She like kind of like recoils.
Jerry forces a hug. Wow.
Wasn't
Lost sister. This is crazy.
is Drakkar your half brother or step brother?
Half brother.
With the same father but different mothers.
Yes. I have a human mother. But maybe my mother is actually a Triton. That's the theory I'm potentially thinking about right now. I might be half Triton.
Who was his mother?
My mother?
Drakkar's mother.
Odros.
So that's the Queen of Jolland who
Yes.
was slain by Drakkar?
No, she merged with my father.
That's right.
They've condensed together.
I mean, geez, Jerry, watch your tongue.
Odros, the Wind Weaver.
The Wind Weaver. I think we have a title similarly for Akkadi. But, Telperion, are you gonna be like that someday? Like being able to establish this kind of mind connection between all of us at once? That was wild.
I don't think I've ever heard that was on the like. I heard that he could do that. Yeah,
Probably not.
I've never met him before, and he's been exceptionally secluded for a long time now. So I had no idea of the scope of his abilities, but perhaps
It does seem to like line up. Like he spoke about being younger and spending time venturing out of the Emerin, and the Emerin not even being the native home of the Ithilwinge. And as you left the forest, you began to get blessed by these powers.
So if there's more Crescent Knights in the future, it'll be because of you all.
That is fascinating.
Are we in a full city right now? Like leaving it?
Yeah. And again, it's a much smaller city than you're accustomed to, like within Athenian. But yeah, it is a city. There's building structures. If you guys had left the abode and are kind of walking out, Selethar would have been at the sort of the entrance to that city and are eager to help lead you, escort you toward the southern gates of this city, to venture out of those and then further past the protective mythals.
Do you have any notion of how long it might take us to reach this tree? I'd like to give Cork just a heads up.
That's a good question, and that is something Telperion would have known with his nature check earlier. Though dense terrain to navigate through the swamplands, the briar marshes usually take about a day or so of travel to wade through to the location of the Weeping Willow. They continue further past that, but
I will send a quick message to Cork and just say, we are venturing south as planned and hope to reach the tree by nightfall.
excellent. That will suffice nicely. If you arrive sooner or later, perhaps you could reach out again for me to time my magics appropriately. If I do not hear from you, I will open the way as close to midnight as I can.
All right, he should be able to help us out once we get there.
I might have gone over the 25 word limit there, but
yeah. So I guess just now, I mean, I have things I want to like just RP through, but we're just venturing south.
yeah, you guys are welcomed past the gates of the southern portion of the Shade Merc, the House Tiarlin's home area. You are able to continue walking past. The Selthar bid you adieu. You feel the lessening of pressure on your sort of essence as you venture out past the protective mythals. Not a sensation that you were being stifled within them, but definitely a noticeable magical essence placed upon you within that space. And the moment you step out, you feel the cold of the Emerald start to hit you. Such a tropical environment is less susceptible than some of the northern lands that you come from, but it is a noticeable degree shift when you step outside the mythals into natural territory once more. I'll go ahead and throw on some adventuring music.
Some cold music.
No more lullaby practice. Does Rome's figure start to shift as we move into like colder environments?
That is a Rome decision.
So I actually want to clarify something with you, Chris, because I thought that I was only able to change at a long rest.
Yeah, I think that is what I had said. However, it's going to happen infrequently enough, I think it can be an action. So you can just choose to, and that's, again, only if you wish. You don't have to adapt to your terrain, but if you want to adapt to a terrain that you can justify, for example, swamp or something, you are more than welcome to do that over an action. Again, it's not going to be frequent enough where I need it to be a short or long rest, so that's fair game.
Got it, and it's getting colder.
It's getting colder, and you're venturing into kind of more it's still forest territory, but more swamp territory. So you can maintain your existing form or choose to adapt it to a certain type of the current terrain.
Okay, I'm going to say for the sake of just like kind of moving forward, anytime we change to a different terrain, I want it to just like be an automatic thing. It's not something that I decide. I just like become a part of what I am. So yes, I will become
amazing. Perfect. And you can feel free to just keep those spell adjustments in mind as according to that.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Oh, do you smell bad now too?
No. Maybe to you. But she has like, I feel like more like moss kind of like hanging off of her. I think she's like a little bit more drippy.
Ooh, drippy.
Dude, she's got the drip.
Like
Rome's got that drip.
Like sticking to her.
Ooh, and like those pitcher plants maybe.
Ooh, yes. Yeah, like pitcher plants and other carnivorous plants are like sort of like sprouting from her.
No,
very cool. Perfect. Well, you are able to start your journey southward, and over the next hour or so, it does begin to get denser forest, thicker muds, even some true marshlands where you might have to take certain routes to avoid just wading through water. And the wildlife definitely shifts accordingly. There are different types of birds in the trees. You definitely see a hint of a snake wrapped around a tree, partially enveloped in the water. Different wildlife in this region.
Fury is very conscious about keeping his Tavi from dragging in the mud or splashing, so he's going to be like holding it the entire time.
Yeah, Toby kind of starts noticing his new boots, and like they're magical, so I imagine they kind of do a decent job or a better job than most boots. But do you guys want to like not be wading through this muck as much? You guys want to give me like 10 minutes to help us out?
Yes.
Yes. 100%.
I wish I could float everywhere. New
Okay.
goal. Just like that elf guy.
So, unless we feel the need to not do otherwise, I'd like to take 10 minutes every hour to cast Water Walk, which allows us to walk on mud as if it was harmless solid ground.
10 minutes lasts an
For-
hour. Do this every hour. Yes.
I will.
Ritualistically not using spell slots. Understood.
Yes.
The first 10 minutes, I will plop down and identify this spell scroll that Minerva gave me.
Mm.
Go ahead and make an Arcana check with disadvantage.
Ew.
Ew.
Oh no, you rolled a 3 for a 13. Oh.
You sit down and start to identify it, and your identify spell completes, and usually that gives you very tangible information of the capabilities of something, and you can tell there's a spell here, but your identify magic is of a certain arcane nature that is usually able to discern the way the sequence of your identify spell has been learned through your father and through general arcane means. For whatever reason, is not giving information about this type of magical sequence. You can tell that it's not written in a specific language. It is a magical sequence, but it is so, it's like high-end advanced calculus style intricate spellcraft that it is something Roulette has not seen before and therefore may need to puzzle out and not be able to read initially. And even the identify spell does not have this knowledge sort of within the confines of what it can divulge. However, you do find that it is a level 2 spell, and you think, should you be able to eventually puzzle out what the spell does, you could learn this spell, not just cast it once. So this is like an older spell scroll. It is stranger and operates differently.
That's cool.
But effectively, you learn that, hey, there is some version of a level 2 spell I can learn someday from studying this. It will just take time.
Neat.
I put my hood up on my new cloak.
Yeah, the hope is that wasting 10 minutes every hour makes up for losing, I would imagine, like half speed venturing.
So that is a very good point. This adventure southward in difficult terrain was going to be a sort of extended skill challenge, where I was going to, hopefully, if you guys net a certain amount of successes over a certain amount of failures, you will not suffer exhaustion from the trip, because it is a difficult trip. With Water Walk having been cast, and with your assertion that it's going to be done every hour over the course, that will dramatically expedite your trip and therefore count as a automatic success on one of those things. So then I would ask other people, what is one way, a skill or a capability you can provide to the group's journey that might help facilitate travel more easily?
Mine's kind of easy. I'm gonna just be I'll be in the front leading because I've been this way before, and I'll just be using my nature skills to guide them away from hazardous plants and make suggestions on routes to go.
Okay. It's not going to be with advantage, but it is going to be a relatively reasonable DC because you have been in this location before. So go ahead and give me a nature check. 10. Even with a 10, you have not been here in 7 years, and therefore the wilds have already sort of shifted and changed, and you're less adept than usual. You're still able to find identifiable mosses and hints of animal tracks that help you guide you in the right direction. However, it is still, you guys will take a route for a time and then have to double back and take a different route occasionally. So it is a still difficult traverse. Functionally, we're at 1 success and 1 failure here for traversing this landscape.
Can I assist Telperion?
You can make a separate roll, yes.
Nature.
And actually, I'm going to actually ask you to make a different type of roll. So he had made nature. So although you're adept at natural understanding, I would ask you to flavor it with the use of a different skill specifically.
I'm gonna go for survival just because swampland I feel like has many kind of pitfalls. Like you can fall in the water or trip over a root. Like there's so much hidden underneath like dark water.
I think
So
that's a great point. Yeah, go ahead and roll survival. With a survival, along the way, even though finding a good route is occasionally difficult at times, you are able to say, hey, avoid that type of muddy area. That's not just muddy water. That is dense sand and could become a problem for us. Oh, just because we have water walk available to us and are stepping across the marsh, don't go over there. You can see that there's a large boa just beneath the surface with its eyes peeking out. So you absolutely help sort of the natural investigative survivalist. So functionally we are at 2 successes and 1 failure. How else would people want to provide service in traversing this landscape?
2 or 3 or however many times the DM wants me to do this. I will cast Fairy Fire just in general in front of us as a way to outline any sort of treacherous terrain that might trip us up.
So this is a little different than Tobirama's use of Water Walk, as it's not draining his spell resources because he's using it as a ritual and there's a long duration. Fairy Fire is going to drain you of resources and is a much shorter duration. I would like to reward that use of that resource in some way. However, it would require a couple spell slots to be used. But if you're willing to, let's say, this is going to be a little bit. Actually, give me a general Arcana check. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to ask you to make a perception check.
I was going to say perception. Yeah.
Okay, so
4 spell slots.
So yeah.
Yes, and that was essentially what it was going to be. Is if you were very perceptive, you were going to have a keener eye for when to effectively use this, but you end up using it more often than you might have had to, and it does drain you of 4 spell slots. But because of that, that is another success, and you have earned 3 successes before 3 failures. So in your approach, with some resource having been drained, you do get nearer to the Weeping Willow, and you are thick in the briar marshes at this time, without having suffered any exhaustion. And that is when we will get to this spot in the briar marshes. Telperion, you suspect that you are getting relatively close to your understanding. You think maybe 10 minutes journey further might continue. However, there seems to be thick and dense bog terrain off to the western side to your right and the eastern side to your left as you venture south, as well as some old rotted wooden planks having been arranged for some version of traversing this space that you kind of have identified as your way forward for now. You guys find yourselves here venturing along that somewhat identified path before you come to this spot. Water walk is still up, so you guys are free to walk across the water, but the planks have sort of given way, rotted, falling into the bog beneath them. Well, it's only about a 5-foot drop, but still no easily traversable dry land available here to get to the other side. Is there any specific way you guys want to move forward in this space?
Are we still doing like just general stuff, or do you want us to specifically solve this one?
This is a little less general and just more intentional of how are you navigating this specific space of where your venture forward is a little more blocked than usual.
So the wood here is like disintegrated, or it's just like submerged?
It's deeply rotted, and many of these planks are water level. They're floating, partially submerged. They're having rotted, but these posts that once supported them are about 5 feet elevated from the bog. I will also say, Toby Rama, with your passive perception, as well as Rome, what's your passive perception?
Perception is
Because I think you're our other 18. Okay, so at this time, only Toby Rama sees this, but you do identify 1, 2 crocodiles. Their heads barely, most of their body entirely submerged. Part of their head is above water level. So you can tell that walking on water is available to you, but getting too close to these crocodiles could prove dangerous in some regard.
Could I cast Speak with Animals to negotiate with these crocodiles?
I don't think you see them.
Oh, I don't.
I point them
Correct.
out. I'll clock them. See, I guess we could
Okay.
just walk around, but we've got some predators abound.
Yeah, Rome, you should tell them not to bother us. We gotta rebuild this bridge. We should rebuild it, guys. That way, anybody else, any other travelers going through these marshes will have a better time than us.
I go up to the, I'm assuming Toby kind of like points us in the direction of where these predators are. I go up to the crocodiles and I attempt to speak with them using Speak with Animals.
Okay, are you walking across the surface of the water just directly to them?
Yes, I cast Water Walk to do so.
Water Walk is already on all of you, so you're able to walk across the water. I'm just wondering, are you walking over directly to an alligator?
Yeah, I want to go directly to it.
Okay. Go ahead and make an animal handling check just in your approach.
Yeah.
And you're certainly able to cast the spell to open up that line of dialogue. Is Speak with Animals a certain range or anything? I'm just not familiar with the specifics. Oh, it's just range self.
Yeah.
Okay. In your approach, you make a delicate enough walk over the surface of the water toward, I imagine, this creature over here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you go ahead and walk over there. And in your approach, you seem to be responding to its sort of gestures and mannerisms in a way that it does not seem to aggress, but it does kind of do its deep guttural chuffing noise in your approach. But you make it over to it and are able to speak with it. What do you say?
Brother, sister, I am of the same life. And I ask that you allow us to traverse this section of your land unscathed. And I will reward you with a gift if you allow us safe passage and allow us to repair the bridge across this section.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
I'm going to use an inspiration to re-roll that.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
You converse with this crocodile, and although you know your words find purchase, it doesn't respond. And you think that's strange. And it just like goes deep into the water with like only the barest tops of its eyes exposed.
Can I, do I have any insights as to like what this crocodile's trying to do?
I'll say because you have a connection maintained with it, you can make an insight on this creature.
Can I take out my sword and also hide?
You are welcome to hide if you wish, yes.
I just want to hide because I have my new cloak on. I don't want to use it.
Insight. For some reason, there's something about this crocodile. It seems natural in every sense. It's a beast of the earth, and you've made connection with it. but for some reason it's unwilling to sort of interact with you. And it does sort of bare its teeth a little bit. You can hear that chuffing kind of growl coming from it, which does get a little bit louder.
I'm going to back away from it slowly and head back to the group.
Okay. With your high animal handling check, you're still kind of composing your actions in a way that don't seem threatening enough where it's going to react right now. But you are able to back away from it safely and go to your group. Oh, shit, not that guy. There we go.
Let everyone know, like, I'm unable to connect with this particular beast, so we are going to have to work together to traverse safely, because I do not trust the beast in this terrain.
Could we fly over the marsh?
I think I can just kind of separate us from it.
I can also
choose a path.
Fly some of us across this area. The foliage above seems pretty dense, so I don't know if that's going to be easy or not, but we could certainly just dash past them if we feel confident in the ability to do so.
Oh, or we could rebuild the bridge so that other travelers don't get eaten by alligators. Think about how much safer it would be if there were bridges here.
Only thing is we would probably have to cut down a few number of trees, because I don't think there's enough remaining wood here from the bridge.
Talpyron's really good with a sword. He could probably kill a tree.
DM, quick engineering check. Like, how difficult would it be to rebuild this entire bridge?
Easy to build. The tricky part is gathering resources necessary for it.
Jerry, I think that this area is, the bridge is not maintained because few use it. So, and the only people who might come to this area might be Ithawingi themselves.
I also think that if the intent is to forge better communication between the two peoples, they might choose a better route than this one we've taken.
Maybe nobody uses it because the bridges are broken.
It begs the question.
Plus, Rome, can't you grow trees?
I can.
Okay, there we go. Rome grows trees. Talpyron chops them down.
Do you want to try and, form sort of a natural bridge, or do we want to just try and book it around and let the Tiarlan people know that they could come and work on this bridge at some point?
That is an excellent idea, Toby. I can't believe I didn't think of it myself. I could just row us a bridge over this space. And then we will traverse safely, and then others will benefit from our creation.
Wonderful.
I love it. Thanks, sister. Go ahead.
I start to produce vines from the ground through plant growth to construct and weave a bridge across this space. And as I'm like creating the bridge, I'm like moving across it. So like as I'm building it, I'm like moving across it. Does that make sense?
And at this point, I'd like to be like kind of right behind her, keeping an eye on the two I've clocked, and hopefully trying to see if there are any more trying to sneak up on us. And I have something in mind if they aggress to respond.
Sure. Okay, you cast plant growth, Rome, which is that an action, or there's various durations on that, so I just want to get a sense of what you're accomplishing here.
It's one action. All normal plants in a 100-foot radius centered on that point become thick and overgrown.
Okay.
So, I mean, I guess we've kind of twisted the spell a little bit, but essentially if I spend 8 hours on this particular bridge, then it'll become permanent. Otherwise, it withers away, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. So for this, you begin to create this bridge, knowing you will have to, put more duration of effort into it if you want it to become permanent. But within the spell, it's difficult terrain, but you do knit together pieces of rotted wood and plant growth and roots from beneath the swampy ground and are able to facilitate a bridge there. Toby Rama, as you get there, I'm also going to say that you pick up with your passive perception a sound of what seems to be like whimpering, sort of a
from any
coming
direction?
coming from this direction.
Rome, just be aware. I think there's something in pain in front of us. So I think we might have been victimized by these crocodiles.
Probably a traveler that needed a bridge. Good thing we're here.
I pause what I'm doing to like listen with Toby.
Go ahead and give me an active perception check, Rome, as you approach as well.
Active perception. That's just like a regular perception skill.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You're able to hear the noise that Toby Rama points out, but to get specifics, with the 22, you definitely identify these noises as definitely sounds like a creature has been wounded, though you're not sure what creature. It does with the sound of the creature. It sounds less bestial and more humanoid. But
you hear in your mind, Rome, as I see you going up there, because I'm still with my head up. Would you like me to go fly over and try to peer through the foliage to see what it is?
Yes, scout. Tell Perion, and then let us know what you find.
All right, so I'm gonna scout. So I will use a bonus action to give myself a fly speed of 70, and I'll fly up and over this area, and then I'll be flying back. But I want to go try to peer through the foliage to see what's over there.
as you fly over in that direction, you clearly identify this individual, a bullywug. There is a broken spear laying next to it, and it is holding like a wicker basket and just like rocking back and forth, looking frantic and worried.
And then I will send back. Well, then I'll come back over, and I'll tell the group. Oh, it's this little frog creature, and it's like mourning or worried about something that's in the basket. I'm nervous if we might want to like be gentle in how we alert it to our presence, but maybe we could offer it some aid.
Yeah, let me
Sounds good to me.
Let me step forward a bit. I'd like to try and inch forward until I can get the slightest little bit of sight on him. I'm underneath Rome at the moment. Hey, there we
gotcha.
go. So like I'll just try and inch like one set of 5 feet at a time until I can peer through the bramble.
Yeah, I would say with your high perception, you getting closer, you can see through gaps in the foliage to see what Telperion had said. It seems to be a bullywug, a frog humanoid creature. Again, broken weapon at his side, rocking, cradling a small wicker basket.
I will say, hello, friend. Could we be of some aid?
You say that from a distance?
Yeah, and intending to do that while like casting a healing word to send its way.
Okay. As you cast healing word, go ahead and roll that. Yeah. You do find it take purchase.
Nice, max roll.
9 healing being given. And you hear a slight change and he starts to look around, hearing that spell being cast, and hobbles up onto his legs with a small limp in one leg, and he like takes a step a hesitant step forward.
Hello, friend. My name's Jajiri. Nice to meet you. You have a nice swamp here.
Very nervous. Could you give me a general charisma check?
Toby, you hear in your mind Topian ask, do you have that spell where you can learn a language at will today?
Rome, do you want to try and use that staff and see if you can understand it?
Oh, yes. I use Hedwig's gardening cane to attempt to comprehend whatever language Spellywog is speaking.
Perfect. You're attuned to the staff?
Yeah.
Okay. So you use a charge from comprehend language, and you can immediately understand Bullywug, the language this creature is sort of mumbling under their breath. Oh, please help. They got my leg. My eggs are in danger.
It's unclear whether or not I can speak back to...
You cannot. Comprehend languages does not give you the ability to speak.
Okay, I articulate, she's concerned about her eggs. Perhaps we can look about to see if we can find any eggs in the water.
Does she want off of this island?
I hold her hand and hold her while
Okay.
She's in pain to encourage her to continue speaking.
Can you help me find them? They look like this. And hands the wicker basket to you.
Oh my god.
In the wicker basket, how many are in there?
As you open the wicker basket, 2 swarms of rot grubs begin to crawl out of them onto your hands, and it immediately goes. And as you hear commotion in the surrounding landscape, I would like everyone to please roll initiative.
Surely this is a trap.
Oh, shit. Am I still stealth?
You didn't necessarily. You broke stealth when you did your flying thing to scout.
Yeah.
So I don't think you are currently stealthed. Okay, let's go here.
-2.
I need to do this. And this. Alrighty here. Let's see where we're at. Settings, descending. There we go. Okay. All right. I need to roll it for Kinsalo. I always forget about Kinsalo.
Can we say Kinsalo also moved forward, assuming he didn't?
Yes, absolutely,
behind?
absolutely. Yeah, he is right behind you guys. It's a pretty meaty initiative usually. Okay, so now we'll redo descending.
I know he had +5.
All right. First, 2 of you. No, Rome, you said your passive perception's 18?
Yeah.
3 of you, Alfie, Tobirama, and Rome, are not technically surprised. as they can hear the commotion of 3 individuals peeking from underneath lily pads, cresting above the water with long bamboo shoot tubes, as they all loose a couple shots at those that have come into this section of the forest. And Kinsalo immediately yells, "Rot grubs! Those are dangerous! Kill them with fire!" So he just kind of reactionarily kind of gives insight into a otherwise dangerous organism. But I'm gonna roll 1 against Jiri, 1 against Toby, and 1 against Roulette, the one that these guys can see best. So they do not have advantage against Toby Rama, but they do on the other 2.
No, they don't.
Oh yes. So Alfie, yeah, because he's not surprised. He's one of the ones that's not surprised, so he does have his reaction available.
I guess really only Telperion and Kinsalo see this, but if you happen to be looking backwards at...
So first blow dart shot shoots toward Roulette.
And Roulette is caught unawares. But if you were looking at Alfie in his water walk ostrich form, you see his wings start to glow a tiny bit, and they start flapping, and they go really fast, and it's like hummingbird speed. And as it kicks up, a bunch of magical dust and dirt begins to envelop Alfie in a 5-foot range around him, somewhat obscuring the targets that are directly adjacent to him, giving disadvantage on this ranged attack.
Whoa.
Which will cancel it out to a normal
yeah.
attack roll toward Roulette. 18?
Miss.
Does not hit. So you see a small dart going straight toward you, but a whirlwind of torrential arcane wind sends it off course, missing you barely. Then 1 shot at Toby Rama from this individual. This one also does not have advantage. 17 to hit Toby.
Meets it, beats it. That hits.
Okay, so you take 4 piercing damage, and I need you to please make a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution saving throw is going to happen.
Is water walk?
And I am going to, having reattuned to the medallion, spend a luck point to re-roll that Constitution saving throw.
Okay, go for it. And I don't think water walk is concentration.
It is not. It is not.
So wait, we still have water walk just as a confirmation there?
Yep. Yeah, you guys are free to run across the surface of the water for this fight. No difficult terrain, which otherwise would have encumbered your movement. With a 16, you push past the poison you can feel seeping into your vein from the location of where this dart hit you, but you're able to pull it out quickly and not be poisoned.
Do I still take the poison damage?
That's a good question. No, that is only additional. So you only take the initial 4 piercing damage. And then finally, 1 final dart from this guy over here towards Jiri. I'm going to say based on where you are, you probably have half cover, so a +2 to your AC. $19 to hit Jiri.
Meets it, beats it.
But wait, you get
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So you take 4 piercing damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Juice.
Success. Similar to Toby Rama, you shirk the poison that seeks to seep into your veins, but you pull out the dart quick enough, unencumbered, and you see these 3 lizard folk individuals that had been hidden beneath the water, mostly submerged, throw their shoots to the side and pull out from beneath larger crossbow type weapons. But it is Kinsalo's turn. Shit. Crocodiles moving in. And he kind of points to the 2 side crocodiles that are slowly moving toward you. In Rome, I'll give you the free information since you had incited these, that for whatever reason, these things seemed resistant to your persuasion. And now you're getting a sense that these are trained animals, not wild beasts. And so Kinsalo is just going to, I think, soar toward the closest lizard folk he sees, soaring down toward water level and trying to stab in. However, as mostly submerged, these guys do have 3/4 cover, giving them some extra AC.
Jeez.
And he will make his attacks. That'll hit.
Hey.
That'll hit.
Hey.
And bonus action. That will miss as he strikes into the water twice, and you see little bits of blood escape from the lizard folk. And then with the butt end of his weapon, as he does his kind of polearm strike, the thing adapted in time to dodge that attack. But it does take some damage. That will do it for Kinsalo. It is now the alligator's turn. He had used his movement to get there. So one will move into his range and one will move climbing onto some of the bank of this space you currently now sit on. One of them will attack Kinsalo. That will miss. And then one attacks Telperion. Also misses. So it starts to climb up toward you, Telperion, gnashing at your ankles, but does not make purchase. Then it is 2 other individuals' turns. They ruin their stealth with their quick movement, but 2 rather off-putting looking individuals, large 6.5-foot brutes, run up toward you all, not affected by difficult terrain. And I think they are going to go ahead and dash to try and get around some of you guys. Oh, he can only make it to here. Large, beefy individuals, their bottom half looking like sturdy, burly enforcer types, but their top head is, the top of their head is entirely a snake face. These are Yuan-Ti individuals of varying physiology. These 2, a particular kind, rush toward you all to get into range, but this one will also use its action to dash, getting around you guys. That is effectively their turn. Toby Rama, you are not surprised, so you have your turn to utilize.
Okay, so
LOL. I just realized.
I'm going to be using the spell Control Water. There's a lot of text in the spell, so I'd like to instead try and describe what I do, and I think it is kosher within the spell. So, like, kind of, I think angle that better. Yeah, so like this line, essentially everything to the not us side, I would like a flood to start in the bottom and flood toward the top right. It describes that if the flood effect, if it's a large enough area, it can cause like a wave that like goes from one side to the other. So I'd like to try and catch the bullywog and that lizard folk attacking Kinsalo and just try and force this massive wave to kind of shove them away.
Okay, so to shove them away from you guys.
Towards the direction of this arrow that I've got pulled up.
I don't see the arrow you have shown. Oh, there we go. Okay, so a wave kind of cascades along that arrow.
Or like everything to the bottom.
Or it appears from that arrow and it then pulls down to the bottom right?
Yeah, so it's like
okay,
a huge section, like all of this section of water is going to flood in that direction.
Got it. Okay. So within the flood section, it doesn't specify that there's like saves, but I'm going to give them a strength save basically to try and resist them, because usually this is for like any huge or smaller vehicles, blah blah blah. Yeah, I'm going to have them affected by this. And usually there's no Oh, and you know what? It's similar to Whirlpool a little bit. Yeah, okay. I know what I want to have them do.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll 2d8, and I'm going to give a couple things a strength save. That one did not show up yet, but I think it should be rolling here in a second. Maybe I didn't click on it. There we go. Okay. With that, I'm going to also make the rot grubs that had been poured out from the thing and fell onto the ground visible. Also, Rome, you had taken this individual's hand at some point as it was offering the thing. Is it safe to say you're right next to the creature? Okay, I'll still have you avoid the water wall. Toby Rama would have been able to place it in a direction, so I'll have you right there.
Okay.
One swarm of the rot grubs, the bullywug, and this lizard folk are all pushed back 20 feet and take your damage, Toby Rama. 10 damage each to these.
I was intending more of this direction.
I thought I asked, you specifically said the line created a wall and then it pushed everything down right.
No, so I might have definitely phrased that wrong. The intent was like this.
Okay, but you're trying to move
section
them. Just tell me where you think those. Oh, interesting.
It goes this way.
Okay, that can still work.
Intending that so it would also catch these guys as well.
Yeah. Okay, I see. I'm gonna give them 2 more saves. Not particularly strong individuals. Okay, so they are all pushed that way as far as they can be within the water they're contained within.
So I guess that would be this for the bullywog from where he actually started.
Yes. Well, it's yeah. The lily pad kind of slows his backward path, but okay. But with that, and I need to this guy. Oh, that guy was moved more like here. I think with that, everyone you intended to affect has been kind of moved, and all of them have been damaged.
Heck yeah.
Noticeably, although a very amphibious creature, that damage sort of knocks almost senseless this bullywug, and he seems to be very low health, like scrambling to climb to the top of the water for breath. There's still one source of rot grubs near you, and some other threats near you guys, but that'll do it for that action.
Yes, and so I will then shout out to the group. Let's deal with what's behind us. They shouldn't be able to get to us if I can keep this up. And that's my turn.
Okay.
Do I want
no bonus action specifics?
No bonus action. And I'm a little swarmed, so I'm not going to try and move. Yes, that is my turn.
Okay. That is that. Noticeably, the rot grubs are dwarfed in the water, but you can see with your high passive perception that they are still floating in the water and are able to like move to some degree, not dead. With that, the bullywug is going to use some of his movement to climb onto this lily pad, and with his standing leap 20 feet that way and start running the fuck away. That's his turn. Rome, it is your turn.
I am going to try and hide the bullywug in the overgrowth so that she's like in a safe. I cast Fire Shield on myself. And I'm gonna move. Oops.
What were you saying? You were gonna hide the bullywug in the forest?
Yeah, so can I hide?
The bullywug had just run away in leaping away into this direction.
Oh, never mind. Okay, never mind. She's gone. Well, I'm gonna move right here. I cast fire shield on
That's
myself.
the grub.
What was that?
I think that's. I don't
Yeah,
think
this
she
is a
was there.
small swarm that is technically on Rome right now. It hasn't had a turn to move, but it's gonna
Oh, my
technically
bad.
follow you where you
I
are.
thought that was like part of the background. All right, so I guess I'll just stay right here then. But I cast fire shield on myself, and that's it.
Okay. Fire shield surrounds your form. What does that look like when Rome does that?
It's like a drippy kind of like oily, fiery sort of shield.
Very cool. Is that concentration?
No.
Okay, just remind me when that will proc or things happen with it.
Yeah, it's only when I get hit by something.
Perfect. That is your action. Anything elsewise?
That is it.
Okay. Roulette, it is oh yeah, you were not surprised. Roulette is surprised. So sorry. You do forfeit your turn, but you get your reaction back. Same with Telperion. You gain your reaction back, but are able to shake off the feel of surprise. Why did Rome roll twice on here?
I only see once.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, next I have Jiri. Does that sound right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so similarly, you gain your reaction back, fighting off surprise. Is the Rock Grub's turn. They are going to move toward the nearest thing they can touch. I'm going to someone roll a d20 for me. High is good for you. If it's 11 through 20, it'll go toward the lizard folk. So it does not pick Kinsalo. It goes and picks this lizard folk to try and bite. I'm going to have it do a thing. And with that, the rot grubs begin to infest his body, leeching onto him, grabbing onto his body, piercing his skin, and you hear a, oh, shit! Rome looks like she is on initiative for me. She's a 15, it looks like.
She's an 8 when she was on our visibility.
That's so weird. She might have been a remnant. She's showing up in my initiative as 15. Let's get you added back. And I probably mistook the, I don't think it affected anything though, luckily. Okay. Rot Grub 1. Rot Grub 2 will attack Rome, the person they are currently trying to move into the space of, and they are able to move into your space and swarm you. Rome, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw for me.
You got it.
11 does not do it. You take max damage, 12 piercing damage as the swarm of creatures starts to attack you and bite you, and you are considered poisoned at this moment. Does your fire shield do anything in this moment?
Yeah, so when I'm hit, it does, back up for a second, it does 2d8 fire damage.
Okay, go ahead and roll it.
Just out damaged it on a retaliation.
As soon as they pierce your skin and bite in, and you can feel the toxins seeping into your body, your fire shield kicks in and incinerates all of them, repelling them from your flesh and truly disintegrating them. They are killed as they are vulnerable to fire damage. Except I should have not done that because these ones are still alive. But those ones are, you are still poisoned, but you have killed an otherwise actually very dangerous, low challenge rating, but dangerous creature. I need to add those ones back into the initiative count. That is the Rock Grub's turn. So next we have Lizard Folk again. They're in the water, not prone from the flood, but they are disoriented a little bit. This one is he's gonna try and shake off the Rock Grubs, but still be able to maintain his composure enough to fire a shot. This one's gonna fire his harpoon bolt at Kinsalo. This one will shoot, I think, at Kinsalo as well. This one will shoot at Rome, the one most available in his view from there. Okay, so this guy first. At Kinsalo. Will not hit. This one is also at Kinsalo. Also will not hit. You see bolts fly from these crossbows, and they are tethered to a long rope. And as they miss and sail past Kinsalo, the lizard folk adapts and does a thing, and you hear a sound of ka-chink, and it cuts the strand of tether from it and begins to load another bolt. Then this final one launches one at Rome.
That does
14,
not
I
hit.
don't think will hit. So same thing. It sails past you harmlessly, and he begins to try and load another bolt. Not very successful on their turn. Next is not quite Kinsalo, as on initiative turn 20 of our second round, you hear chanting spellcraft of an individual over here. Almost an opposite form of the Yuan-Ti that had rushed up around you. Someone with a serpentine lower half and a female top begins to cast a spell as she twirls her fingers and enchants magical essence. And you all feel like a smell, like a neurotoxin being enveloping all of you. I need everyone. Well, she's not going to target her own people. So I think it's just going to be everyone but Alfie, and including the crocodile. I need to make a wisdom saving throw. Toby, success. Roulette, Jiri, fail. Rome, success. Telperion, success. Most of you are able to push off the influence of whatever this magical essence is that's trying to like paralyze or slow you. But Jiri and Roulette, you are affected by the slow spell. Your AC goes down by 2, your dex saves go down by 2. You are able to take an action or bonus action, not both, during your turn. But that is her turn. And
do we see this person?
Yeah, they're over here. I'll blow them up.
What happens to their movement speed?
Their movement speed is also halved. So they are slowed in all effects of the slow spell. And as she completes that, she calls over to something in a language you guys do not know, unless Rome still has comprehend languages up, which she might hear it as serpent speak. And another beast begins to slowly make itself known as it crawls out of the bogland behind there.
Oh, nice.
And now I will add these creatures to the initiative at this initiative count.
Yeah, this is getting more frightening.
Wait, why did that not work? Oh, there we go. All right, but it uses its movement to get to here, but is a much larger crocodile than the other ones near you. That'll do it for their turn. It is Kinsalo, who will, I think, stab at the crocodile behind him and take flight, trying to get away from this circumstance a little bit better. Let's do one of those, and one of those. Even with the partial cover or 3/4 cover of the barely emerged crocodile, he does hit with all 3 and actually kills that crocodile.
Hell yeah.
Stabbing it and then bashing it on the head, and you just hear a gurgle of bubbles as it sinks to the bottom. And then Kinsalo will fly over toward you all, but in the air. So he is hovering maybe about 15 feet in the air. And that'll do it for his turn.
Very disconcerting.
Yeah, it's technically a large creature, but only a small creature's amount is able to be targeted, kind of, because of the way it's submerged. That one's dead, so only one of them can attack Telperion. It will make a bite attack.
Hell yeah.
You just fight it off with your foot. It is a strong creature, but you're stronger and it's moving slow and you're an adept fighter. So you have no problem sort of repelling the advances of this
I'm just like
crocodile.
stepping on its face, being like, I've got bigger things to worry about than you.
Perfect. And then the two Malisons, they will do. Yes, both of them are going to go reckless. He doesn't know what Alfie is, so he's going to prioritize the fighter that's not being assaulted by the crocodile. So Alfie can make an attack of opportunity if he does that kind of thing, but he leaves Alfie's space and is going to make an attack at Telperion. One of them's also going to make an attack at Toby Rama. We'll do Toby Rama first. They have a multi-attack. He's going to do a bite attack. 22 to hit.
Me?
Toby? This one's Toby.
Oh, okay.
That is going to hit.
Okay. 11 piercing damage. And with his second attack, he's not going to make an attack, but is rather going to grapple you. So I need you to make a contested acrobatics or athletics check.
I will,
and he will
do
the
that
same.
after I roll my concentration check. Nice. On control water.
Nice.
Okay, so I'm gonna do I can do acrobatics.
Yes.
All right, we'll do that. Nice.
Very adeptly, as he sinks his teeth into you, damaging you, you adapt quickly enough that you dodge his burly arm going for your throat and trying to drag you back into the water. You repel that attack. Same thing to you, Telperion. The other guy's going to do the same thing. Bite attack first.
Is this reckless or not?
Oh yeah, both of them should have been. We'll use those two rolls for the reckless one at Toby since they already hit. This next one will be the advantage bite on you.
Okay.
23 to hit you. Okay. 8 piercing damage and then athletics check. Oh yeah.
Ooh, come on, Telperion.
I haven't rolled above a 10 today. It's pretty good. 8 plus 8, 16, but doesn't win.
He does beat you and begins to pull and drag you into the water. It is difficult terrain since he's dragging you, but even with your water walk, you are being pulled underwater a little bit. And he is pulling you away from his friends, and the crocodile seems to kind of reorient itself to look at you. That is their turn. Toby, you're up.
So I will have the flood repeat what it did last time. That just happens. It is not an action for me to make that happen. No, it is. It is. Let me verify that that's what I want to do. I can repeat the same effect, but it wouldn't be like a spell cast, so I could still do a spell. How do I respond to that then? I want to act because I do want to do that. Yeah, let's start with that. I'm going to have the flood repeat itself. Maybe a little more this directionally this time to get like all of these folks appear.
And you can change the area affected and change direction and that kind of stuff.
I can repeat the effect or choose another effect. So I'm just gonna change it to be a different direction and try and shove them up kind of this like alleyway that they came from.
You are definitely able to. I'm going to give them strength saves like I did last time, but go ahead and roll damage again.
Okay.
Left guy, middle guy, top right guy. What's your spell save DC? It's higher than
17.
15. Okay. So this guy is damaged and takes the damage. The others are just moved. Go ahead and roll your 2d8 again.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize you just did.
It was 10.
Yeah, okay. Yep. So you damage this one, but all of them are pushed as far back as they can be. There's some foliage and stuff that actually prevents most of their movement. But I do need to make a roll for the giant croc as well as our other person here. Both of them are pushed back as well. Again, not as significantly as some of the others.
Any
this guy
chance?
actually will be.
Any chance that was slow as a concentration spell?
It is, but she strength save. Oh yeah, they do take damage. So hang on. Giant Croc does take damage.
Nice
Come
AoE.
on. And then she takes damage as well. And makes a con save.
Come on.
Oh, is there anything she can do? No. She loses the slow spell immediately after having cast it. Jiri and Roulette, you feel a surge of energy as you are no longer restricted in your movements.
Okay.
Bullywug's turn.
It's still my turn.
Dashes off the screen. Oh, okay.
The real enemy's escaping.
I will. So that was just an action, not a casting of the spell. So I will then, for a bonus action, cast. Toby will whip out his fancy bow and bring back his bowstring, and a line of silvery mist coalesces into an arrow as I shoot off my flying arrow to here.
Got it. And I think you... Oh, no, I need to update that so that you always have control over this guy.
Awesome.
Update.
I don't know if you get
token
advantage
save.
if I'm grappled and not aggressing. But also, I am aggressing because my movement speed is just 0.
Yeah, I would say you're a threatening creature right now, so you can still grant advantage. So yeah, spiritual weapon attack. Go for it with advantage.
This totally feels like that guy from Marvel of the Galaxy, or Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yondu. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a D8.
28 definitely hits.
D8 plus 5 for 7 force damage.
And actually, you would have had advantage on him regardless because he had reckless. Actually.
Oh yeah.
And do I want to move? Yeah, I'll try and... No, I don't want to move because I don't want to risk having to do another concentration check. So I will stay there. That is my turn.
Okay. Roulette, after the bullywug runs away and dashes into the foliage and is no longer visible, it is your turn. You are not slowed. You do have your turn available.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm doing weird shit. Oh, I am out of spell slots at first level. Fun.
You can outcast, right?
Yeah, I can. I can cast 2 things as long as one of them is a cantrip and they don't occupy.
And a
the
bonus
space.
action. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Sure.
Such an academic way to state that.
Great. Seeing Telperion get dragged away, I am going to bonus action. Arcane weapon. Yeah, we're gonna add some flair. Bonus action, arcane weapon. The flail starts crackling with lightning energy, and if you're standing near me, you notice that my hand is glowing a tiny bit, and there's even more crackling energy underneath the glove. I start running towards, and I'm not slowed anymore. I'm going to leave the space of this thing.
It will try and slash at you with its scimitar as you leave.
Beautiful.
I will negate the effects of that critical with my reaction.
Okay.
Easy peasy.
Okay. You are able to use your reaction. Roulette taking 9 points of slashing damage. Do you need to make a concentration check on your effects that you just cast?
Yeah, I do.
I'll use my. I'm gonna. Never mind.
You're good on concentration.
As a reaction, I'm going to block the attack or turn around after I get hit and shining light at him. He has to make a con save to not be blinded.
Oh wow, perfect. Con save.
So there's your reaction.
No.
He does push past the blinding sensation.
there's lightning shooting by him as the bright light. And I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll 5. Yeah.
Yeah, let me clarify this guy's space. He's functionally in this space. Okay,
As
perfect.
in he's in within 5 feet of the Yuan-Ti.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And Roulette is running, lightning crackling on the thing. And as she comes down to swing, the flail explodes in lightning, essentially. And I'm going to make an attack against the Yuan-Ti.
Beautiful. No, oh, yes, advantage because it had attacked recklessly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which will help you.
27 to hit.
27 hits.
So,
Smitey.
with this, there is... Sorry.
Happening.
This is the first amount of damage. This is the bludgeoning.
Okay.
There is 1d6 of lightning from arcane weapon.
Okay.
And then, in an addition, oh god damn it, this is painful. An additional 1d8 of lightning explodes
Why?
from the flail.
And isn't it like D8 plus your modifier or something like that?
And then, no, so it's 1d8, so that's to the Yuan-Ti. And then as the flail connects with the Yuan-Ti, an extra bolt of lightning shoots off to the alligator, and I deal 1d8 plus 4.
That's right. Yeah.
What is happening? Roulette is exploding right now.
11 damage to the alligator, and you see the lightning going up Roulette's arm, almost to her eyes, making them glow very briefly as she attacks.
Wow.
There's an
Explosion of
lightning
arcane
everywhere.
force as she narrowly misses Telperion but injures the Yuan-Ti and the crocodile in one
Roulette,
blow.
are you alright? You're exploding.
Her eyes are almost white, and her hair briefly darkens to a deeper red as she ends her turn.
Perfect. With that, it is Telperion's turn. Your speed is 0. You are being grappled currently.
Okay, I'm going to use my bonus action to push Roulette 5 feet away from me. Just 5 feet
Okay.
correctly.
You are able to do so.
Roulette, I don't want to burn you. And then oh fuck, I can't use my bonus action on my boots then. Can I? Ugh, that was stupid. I have one bonus action. Well, that was.
Give me that.
I'm gonna just attack the Yuan-Ti that's holding me with. So I'm just like grappled, and I'm just gonna take my sword. I'm just gonna like hack the back of like behind me to smack it.
I'll say with the way he recklessly grabbed you, you still get advantage even though he's the creature grappling you.
Nat 19, so 8.
That'll hit.
All right. This is going to be a psi strike. So 2d6. I'm really rolling a 2. I got another 2. And so then I'll add a d8 from the psionic, which was a 7. So 10, 12 plus 7 is 19 damage.
Okay.
And then can he please make a strength save? He has to beat a 14.
Yes. He will definitely do this, although this might have different results than we usually expect. He resists anyway.
Okay. Well, I'll just attack a second time.
Okay.
Same deal. 19 to hit.
19. With his 3/4 cover he has barely being submerged, you just miss.
Okay.
So you swing your sword the first time, injuring him, pull it out for another swing kind of behind you at your back, and it just hits water.
I didn't know he had such a high thing. And
that's only because he's barely, above water targetable. He's getting cover from being submerged.
All right. Can I use my, was it okay that I didn't move Roulette?
I'll move
That's
back.
fine.
Okay, I'm just gonna.
Still your turn.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fucking resistance. Or you're concentrating, so I don't want to hit you.
But I also have resistance.
Yeah, but if you fail the con save because I put my boots on,
That's fine. That's fine. Just hit me.
I'm gonna hit with my boots. I'm gonna just cast a Chardon Stride on myself.
Okay.
And
Cast it. It's active.
Yeah, I don't know if I move though. Do I even activate the
Your
buff?
movement speed is 0, so you can't damage them, I don't think, because you can't move.
Okay.
But they're active.
Okay. I'm gonna.
You feel like steam. You see a surge of bubbles from underwater as the magical fire is still trying to ignite, even submerged.
All right, I'll just end my turn.
Chris, and I don't know if this will affect things. Water Walk does have a second little mini paragraph that says the spell carries a target submerged to the surface at a rate of 60 feet per second.
Yeah, he's basically not going to be able to pull Telperion fully under the water, but that is, I definitely had that in mind.
Awesome.
Perfect. That's Telperion's turn. Rome, it is your turn. And I cannot currently hear you. It looks like you're talking.
The camera. All right. Sorry.
There we go.
Can you hear us now?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm gonna move to the edge of the water here and cast polymorph on myself to transform into a giant crocodile.
Very cool.
I take the
I will just copy this guy.
crocodile with like reeds and cattails and like viney sort of like decomposed logs and stuff like all kind of like formed together. And I make my way towards this area over here.
Okay. Giant crocodiles do have a swim speed of 50 feet. So you're absolutely able to kind of clamber down into the water and move over there.
Yep, so I'm going to be moving, I just measured it, right here. I can't attack them yet because I already expended my action. And also just so that you're aware, the fire shield still stays up.
Oh, so perfect. Got it.
That's the end of my turn.
Got it. Very cool. Jiri, you are up. As soon as I add you back to initiative.
All right. First thing Jiri has gotten to do, besides getting smacked around by arts and whatnot, he is gonna just take off running straight towards the Yuan-Tai. 40 feet, screaming and yelling, drawing his weapon, saying
running over the surface of the water,
saying his little special catchphrase, and then when he gets to his maximum distance he can go, he is going to use his bonus action to Misty Step or Vapor Jump behind the Yuan-Ti.
Okay. You're absolutely welcome to do that. Just a little terrain information. This is actually also a, she's like occupying a weird space, but she's like right here. You are now in dense foliage, just so you have some surrounding information. You're like within shrubbery and stuff. You can still attack unencumbered, but you're within difficult
making
terrain.
My attack even stealthier as I strike this creature from behind.
Okay, go ahead and roll it.
Now, since I teleported behind this creature, do I get to roll with any special?
Unfortunately not. You are not an unseen attacker in that sense.
Element of surprise, though.
Yeah, but you're not stealthed. She heard the arrival of you behind her and is able to see you arrive behind. Tactically advantageous still, but 15, that might hit her. Let me check her stats. A 15 just hits. She brings out her two arms on her left side to try and grab the blade, but you cut into them. And then adapt with the second, both definitely hitting.
Okay, so 14 plus 18.
Damn.
14 and 18. 32 damage. Not bloodied, but certainly significantly wounded from that attack. She yells in pain for sure.
And quite surprised that she's got somebody
Yes.
behind her. That's
Yes,
it.
definitely. Perfect. That will do it for Jiri. The rock grubs continue to eat into this dude. Well, he gets a new save because he was pushed around. Which he fails. They continue to attack him, dealing some damage, but that individual is actually not, or he's resistant to poison effects. But he does take some more damage. That guy is actually... you notice extra commotion and panic emerging from this individual over here. It is the Malison's turn. Jiri, you have earned her attention, or not the Malison, the Nightmare Speaker's turn. You have earned her attention. She turns around toward you and just glares at you, and her eyes alight in magically terrifyingness. I need you to make another wisdom saving throw.
Come on, Jiri.
That does not succeed. You are currently frightened from this creature, and not just frightened, but you have the committed purpose that you need to flee from her, opposite her direction, with every ounce of action economy you have available, should it come to that on your turn. But she is now focusing on making you afraid of her. That is her action. Nothing she can do with her bonus. So then she will indicate for her beastie to come attack the rest. Not trying to move her. And it's going to move toward this strange crocodile made of plant and shrubbery and goodness. And it's going to attack you, Rome. With its multi-attack. And it is actually flanking. Bite, and then tail. Uh, 21 and then 26 to hit. I think both of those hit.
Yeah, both of those hit.
Okay, so go ahead and do me a favor and make 2 concentration checks for me to maintain your polymorph. You just got to beat a DC 10 each time.
Concentration. That's just like a regular...
Constitution saving throw.
Oh, Constitution, okay.
Success. Success. So you hold on to your form. You are just injured as your giant crocodile form takes 29 points of damage.
Okay.
That'll do it for that turn. We'll do 3 more harpoon attacks.
Oh wait, hold on. But that does take the fire.
Oh, that's right.
Back. So,
that's right. So how much damage do you do back?
2d8.
On each
Beautiful.
hit?
Roll it. 12 damage. Got it.
Would it
It
work?
recoils in pain after biting into you and getting hurt by it.
Would that proc on both attacks it made?
It's 48.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Go ahead and roll
yeah,
2d8
right.
again.
Good call. Take another 9.
Another 9. Perfect. With that, it had taken a little bit of damage prior. Oh, it's not quite bloody, but it's hurt. And then with that completing its turn, now we move on to the 3 lizard folk who they're in melee range with this croc. I think they're both going to try and move backward from Rome, risking an attack of opportunity, at least one of them. So Rome, you're able to use your reaction if you want on one of these guys as they try and pull away from you.
Can I do a multi-attack on a...
Not on a reaction, you get 1 attack as an attack of opportunity.
Okay.
But you can make it either your bite or your tail attack.
I'll go for the bite attack.
Okay. Just for me, which one do you target?
I'm gonna go for this guy.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your attack.
Okay, so it's D20 plus 8. So 19 plus 8, I'm assuming hits.
Absolutely hits. Yeah, go ahead and roll damage.
And that's 3d10 plus 5. So 3d10 plus 5. 34 damage.
Damn. You kill him. How do you kill this individual?
I swallow him whole and consume him.
Absolutely amazing. Just like your Tyrannosaurus Rex form recently had done so, your large crocodile teeth just engulf him and pull him in, and he shrieks in pain and agony and is no more. And for whatever reason, I'm having a hard time. Let me do this. Move him over here, X him out, then move him back. There we go. He is killed. The other one evades your attack and is going to harpoon you, or attempt to. Does a 15 hit alligator?
Yeah.
Although you are mostly submerged, so you have a +5 to your AC, just like the other croc does.
Oh, well, then
so
in that case, it doesn't hit.
With that, it just sinks into the water near you, but not hitting you. And then he begins to use the rest of his action to flee. That'll do it for their turn. Kinsalo. Telperion, I'm coming! He's in the air. Will venture this way, swooping down to attack. Oh, he has more movement speed than that. To attack the guy that you all are attacking. And we'll make those attacks with advantage.
Put him in a body bag.
1, 2, 3. All 3 hits.
Solo's killing it.
Yeah.
16, 7, 23 damage to this individual, and you can see the blood escaping this creature. He is very low health, but is not dead. And Kinsalo will just stay where he is, trying to jab his spear into him further. It is now this crocodile's turn. He has not successfully bit anyone, so he's going to try and grapple this new person walking on the water near him who just hit him with lightning energy. Roulette, I need you to make a contested grapple check.
Do I do my acrobatics? Is that what it is?
Acro or athletics on your end. Yep. He clamps around your leg, the teeth almost piercing you, but you wrench your foot free just in time as he tries to pull back into the water. Barely successful.
I zap him a little bit.
Otherwise, he's going to completely submerge himself. He will leave your range if you want to attack him with anything, but otherwise is going to be now under full cover and swim off in a distance a little bit.
Can I attack as well?
Yes, you are able to as well. He still has 3/4 cover before he leaves that space.
Whatever, I'll do it. Nat 20.
Yeah, you attack him. You hit him.
Uh, 10 plus. I think it's 19 damage. I keep forgetting.
19
sword now. Yeah. 2d6 plus 6. No, I'm so sorry. Yes.
Didn't you roll a nat 20? So aren't you doubling that?
Oh, yeah. I forgot to double it. How does my sword work when I crit?
Each instance, I think separately, can proc the additional D6. The additional D6 is not doubled, but each instance of your 2d6 rolling can proc it.
Okay, I think I'm doing 24 damage.
Okay,
I'm gonna
24.
double check that math, but that's what I think it is.
How do you kill this crocodile as it tries to squirm away in the water?
22 damage.
Oh, 22 damage. Oh, but it also takes 5 damage of fire. It takes probably d6 as it moves out of my space with my.
You kill it.
I think your movement. Yeah, you also kill it, but I think your movement is the only thing.
My sword goes right in its throat, and I'm like, thank God I killed something today, and that's all.
And it just sort of, it doesn't even leave you guys' space. It just kind of floats, dead. That is their turn. Monty Malison's turn. This one already has 3/4 cover, is grappling Telperion, flanked by other individuals. I think it's just going to try and bite into you, Telperion, knowing that it might get hurt on the way out. Okay, Monty Malison. It does not have advantage on things it's grappling. 21 to hit.
That hits.
9 piercing, and then it takes 1 attack with its scimitar, trying to stab it into your back underwater. But there's too much turbulence going on below the surface, so just the 9 bite damage, and it will try to continue moving with you, allowing Roulette and Kinsala to strike it.
I already used my reaction way ago on my turn.
Well, Kinsala will try, but it's difficult with the submerge, and he still does it. For 6 slashing, stabs it once more. It is gurgling, but technically alive. Second one, Toby Rama is going to try and grapple you.
Does that count as an attack?
You can replace 1 attack with a grapple. So if you have multi-attack, you can grapple multiple times. Or you can grapple once and then attack once.
I have a question later for it, but it doesn't matter.
Okay. You dodge the first one, and it will use its multi-attack to try that one more time, Toby Rama.
Can I give you disadvantage as Alfie, or no?
This is a skill check, not an attack roll.
So I need a nat 20 to not get grappled.
Do it!
Close.
It's not that bad.
Unfortunately, you are grappled.
No, he's not, because I don't have my reaction. Never mind.
Yes, you can't flash a genius him right now, but he does grapple you and pull you, Toby Rama, into the water back a bit. He will leave Alfie's space if Alfie takes attacks of opportunity, but that's your call. But otherwise, Toby Rama begins to be dragged by a healthier Malison.
Oh, it's +7. Sorry. So that should be a 17.
Okay. 17 does not hit this creature in the water with his additional cover. That's its turn. Toby, you're up. You are grappled. Your speed is 0. You are in the water, partially submerged.
I imagine he's kind of grabbed me from behind because I was kind of maybe focused
lifeguard
on
holding you, but like pulling you down instead of lifting you up.
So I reach back and try and get my hands on the side of his head, and I cast Blight.
Oh shit! You have another 4th level.
I do.
Control water, and now this.
Yes.
Okay. Amazing. Yeah, go.
It's a Constitution saving throw.
Which one of the Crocs is
the further one? I think.
He is a rather constitutional being, so he takes half damage, but.
How far is Misty Step? 30 feet.
Yeah.
So he will take 16, which does injure him, but perhaps not as much as you thought it might.
So I do that, and I will have my
Kinsala's got it.
Arrow readjust to here. Oh, Jesus. And attack.
Is there a range or anything on it? It can only move a certain amount.
20.
But once you cast it, it can just do stuff. Okay.
It can move 20 feet. My D&D Beyond it is weird, so I'm just going to do this. It's a D8 plus 5. So that's 12
with advantage because it does still technically have flanking.
Oh, I had to roll
granted
it
by Telperion.
17 plus 9, 26 to hit.
Yes.
For
Absolutely
12
hits
damage.
Got it. And with that, how do you kill this thing that is pulling Telperion into the water?
I'd say the arrow just like pierces through the top of his head, goes all the way through, and it never exits as I release the spell.
Topiary, and you feel a sudden tensing and then a relaxation as the arms of this strong creature let you go.
Toby, you're an
That
angel.
is it for Toby.
Yes, because my speed is 0. That is action, bonus action.
Okay, Mr. Bullywug is getting removed from initiative since he is gone. Roulette, is your turn.
What do you got? Where's that one? Ooh. Yeah, sure. Why not? Who cares? This is 50 feet away. I am going to start running across, and at some point around here, let's say, because I'm going to jump in the air and then I will disappear and Misty Step appear right here, using my sash of Misty Step. And as I come down, again, I'm appearing mid-swing and swinging down with a electrified strike. This is against the actual lizard thing.
Perfect. It is submerged, so a 15 is not gonna do it.
This one is?
Yes, it is still in the water. It's pressed up against a bunch of like bamboo shoots and stuff behind it that prevented its further movement by the control water, but it is still partially submerged.
Oh, but she just popped out of nowhere, so she gets advantage, right?
I wish.
I'm not going to grant him that benefit after I just didn't grant it to you.
I would accept that deal if it became a
Precedent.
precedent that we do.
Precedent.
That's my turn. I'm going to have Alfie just threateningly place himself over here.
You swing twice?
No, I did not.
Alfie rolls across the surface of the water, which looks awkward and strange, but
He's in ostrich mode.
Perfect. Oh, that's right. Yes. Runs across the surface of the water, and is behind the Malison.
I'm done.
Cool. Telperion, you are up.
All right. I'm gonna Superman bonus action. Give myself 110 foot move of speed this round.
Gross.
And I'm going
Using a side eye this time. Yes.
Which one is Rome? The right or left alligator?
One is made of plant and algae and flora, so you know it's easily Rome, and it's on the right.
Excellent. So I'm gonna go over here, and on my way I'll
got it.
Fire from my boot will scald the back of that one. So I'll roll a d6 on that.
Okay.
Which was a 5. So 5 fire. My arrival then does another it does a d6 at this. Is it a naga? Is that the right? Whatever this is.
It is a different type of yuan-ti.
Okay, so then I'll roll a new d6 for the fire damage on this one.
Okay, go ahead and roll it.
So that's 5 fire on that one.
Okay.
And then I'm probably
on a thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna just full unleash on this thing. Probably gonna action surge this turn.
She hangs on to her concentration.
Okay. Is this these are at advantage because of Jiri, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Is she submerged?
She is not. She is on the land. Her
Excellent.
her serpentine body keeping her up.
All right. So for I haven't action surged yet, but first attacks, 17 nat, so +9.
Yes, hits.
Okay. So I will do a actually, I'll hang on in case I want to. I already have advantage. So this is 2d6. I rolled 2 6s, which is fucking awesome. And then I rolled a 3. So 6, so 12, 13, 14, 15 plus 6 is 21 damage.
21 damage. She is definitely bloodied with that.
Concentration save.
Yes, indeed.
Concentration?
She's concentrating on keeping Jerry afraid.
She succeeds.
All right, second attack. Nat 16 with +9, so
is gonna hit. Yep.
Yeah. Another 2d6. I rolled 2 2s. Ooh, I'm gonna reroll those and not take the extra little die. I rolled a 3 and a 2, so 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 3, 4, 5 plus 6. So 11 damage on this one.
11 damage. Got it. Another save. He hangs on.
All right, I'm gonna action surge and swing at her 2 more times.
Okay, go for it.
Nat 18. That's 9.
Definitely hits.
Okay, I'm gonna psionic strike on this one.
Okay.
Don't want her to keep concentrating.
Raise that DC.
2 6s again. Added another one, which was also a 6. I don't think it keeps going.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
It does not keep going.
And then I'll roll my d8. Oh, I rolled a 6. So 6 times 4 is 24.
Wow.
Plus 6 is 28.
Nope, 30.
30. Plus another 4. So 34 damage.
Damn.
Setting
And
that
she
DC
is-
high.
Gravely wounded at this time.
I did that right?
Yep.
And loses concentration on Jiri's fear. So Jiri, you shake past your feeling of frightenedness and probably lock her in as a target of your fury.
Strength save.
Strength save.
We're on dry land, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so she passes. And I will not
She
attack.
does succeed. Yep, one last attack. She's pretty low.
22.
22 to hit. Does hit.
6, 7.
I'm tempted to say her HP.
8 plus 6 is 14 damage.
She hangs in there by the skin of her teeth.
Jesus. How much damage did I do, MK? I know you know.
A lot.
Oh, wow.
You did 13, 34 plus 14, 48. I don't remember what your first 2 were.
21 was my first. Anyway, that's my action. That's my action surge. That's my bonus action. That's my movement. I said, Jira, you got the rest? That's my turn.
So
Okay.
69.
Rome, you are up in your giant croc form.
I am going to move closer to the serpent and attack it with my multi-attack.
Okay, you are welcome to. Go ahead and roll it.
All right, let's do the bite first. So that is 1d12, 20 plus 8.
Uh,
18.
that hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Eat this bitch!
This bite was 3d10 plus 5.
Holy moly.
25 damage.
Wow.
How do you kill this Yuanti nightmare speaker?
I eat her.
Of course. As is the cycle of life, you consume her entirely. She screams in pain and agony. And as she dies, you specifically can feel a sensation come from the crocodile to your side. But that'll complete that attack.
So since I still have another attack left, can I attack the crocodile to my left?
You are welcome to. Go ahead and roll it.
I'm gonna tail attack that one.
Okay.
Oh shoot. Okay, so that's plus 8. I don't think that hits.
That does not hit, and it is
okay.
submerged.
That is it.
Okay. You swipe at it with your tail, but it ducks out of the way and kind of shakes its head in confusion. Jiri, your turn.
All right. I'll go smack the other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I can get there.
I think so.
Actually, I'm gonna get behind.
You've got
this
more
one.
movement speed than you once did.
We'll get behind it and try to smack it on the head as its head is sticking out of the water.
Okay, go for it.
With advantage because of flanking.
Correct. some interesting rolls there, but both hit essentially.
All right, 18 and 15.
The first one barely not doing enough to end its life in one shot. With the second one, how do you kill this lizard folk skulker?
Sword right down the top of his head, kind of like cleaving his head open.
He gurgles into the water below as he descends. That it for Jiri?
Is this thing still alive?
Yeah.
Yes, you notice that he is infested with a swarm of grubs that as he sinks to the ground, they release from his space and now are just kind of hovering in the water.
Do they look threatening?
They don't look good.
If just bugs, Jiri, I can get him.
I'll smack him with my cloud arms anyways.
Okay, go ahead and roll it.
No.
Difficult to punch these floating things in the water. Neither of those strikes quite finding purchase. Not sure where to target as there's like a mass of them. Unfortunately, no damage
okay,
there.
Roulette, you can smash those bugs.
I got him, Jiri. You gotta burn him.
Perfect. If that completes Jiri's turn, it's now the rock grub's turn. Someone roll a d20 to see which direction they target. 11 through 20 is up, 10 through 1 is down.
18.
Two of you rolled the same direction. They are going up. Jiri, I need you to please make a dexterity saving throw for me. Nat 20. So they start to clamber onto your tabby, and you just quickly swipe them away harmlessly into the water. But they are continuing to move toward you. But that's their turn.
Are they like in space?
They're moving into his space. Yeah, they're starting to occupy his space.
Okay.
Functionally, yes, that is what they do to make their bite attack. So technically, they are occupying his space.
With
Yeah,
my nat 20,
that creature
can I have jumped backwards a little bit to get out of their way?
with a nat 20, sure, I'll let you have done that. Yeah. That's turn. With the killing of their leader, this lizard folk says, "Edema is down. Retreat to the dens." And will drop his harpoon bow and dash into the forest off screen. That is his turn. Kinsalo's turn. Kinsalo's gonna, Toby, I'm coming for you. Surges over here. I just showed 50 feet of movement, but he can take a more direct route for his 40. And we'll swoop down to try and attack the one attacking Toby. Uno. Nope. Dos.
Hey.
Yep. Tres.
Look at your boyfriend.
14 and 9.
We're
23
not official.
damage to this individual. Severely wounding him, but not killing him yet. Trying to help you out, Tobe.
Let me at him.
That will do it for his turn. The Crocs are dead. The Malison is in trouble, but will try and bite attack Toby.
I have the biggest vein of celery between my teeth.
Nah.
14 will not hit, and then he'll try and draw his scimitar and strike you from underneath the water.
No.
Still no, I don't think. He is struggling to attack and is just going to, I think he's going to risk it, try and pull you back toward that direction. Alfie and Kinsalo, if they have reactions to give, can absolutely attack. Kinsalo certainly will.
Alfie's rolling.
Does anyone know what that little thing's eggs were?
13.
It was just a ploy.
Well, I'm sure there's eggs around here somewhere.
Go ahead and roll it, Alfie.
8 plus 4.
It's pretty low health.
Oh, Jesus. Sorry.
Let's see. It says usually a D8, so is it 2D8 plus something?
Yeah, 10 total.
Stabs him, but he pulls free.
Oh.
Not quite dead.
Perfect.
Very, very low health. This individual. Toby, your turn.
Do I want to attack him or do I want him to fail and die? I'll save my spell slots. I will cast Toll the Dead on this little nuisance behind me.
He will make a save. Save.
Wisdom. Nice. Boom. It's gonna pop that. Yes.
Go ahead and roll damage. It is possible you don't kill him.
No.
22.
22 damage. How do you kill this Malison?
Oh.
I'd say like the remaining necrotic damage. Oh, what the fuck? That just popped up again for me. From the blight is there, and I'll just like focus on it and
re-intensify its necrosis.
Yeah, and like its whole head just loses color and goes pale.
And it falls into the water.
And
dead.
I'll, true to Naruto fashion, climb back up on the water.
Yes.
And with that, virtually all the threats on the playing field are having been dealt with.
Wait.
Two individuals seem to have gotten away. And they are rather adept at hiding in this type of terrain. So Telperion, if you are putting up your hand because you want to chase down that individual, I do need you to make a perception check.
I think Roulette had something she wanted to do.
Okay.
I mean, I'm next in initiative, but yeah.
Roulette, what is there? Yeah, I mean, you guys have initiative in its true sense is kind of concluding here, but if you want to do something in the next moment.
Oh, yeah, and Jiri's right there. So Jiri, I told you, you gotta kill these things with fire.
Yes, the rock grubs. Yes.
And Roulette will put her flail on her hip, and Jiri very specifically sees this next sequence. Her hand is still crackling, even though she's put away her weapon. There's like a glow coming from underneath the firebolt glove, and you can see she's just lining up to do what is typically a firebolt. But at the last second, the lightning crackles up her arm. Lightning is like crackling into her eyes, turning her eyes white. From eyes to glasses, her hair goes like a darker blood red. And I need both the grubs and Jiri to make a dexterity saving throw as a 15-foot cone of fire explodes from Roulette's firebolt hand.
Okay.
Although they are very dexy creatures and are going to take half the damage, they are also vulnerable to fire damage. So this is still going to succeed rather competently.
So this is 3d6.
Jiri, Roulette's probably just gonna burn the bugs. No worries.
So 9 fire.
Yes, even with that, they are disintegrated into ash. And Jiri takes some damage too, it looks like.
And the DC 13, I think, is the save. What is
so he succeeds. So he takes half damage.
8. And then...
Also, I meant to say this before your turn, Toby Rama, but the crocodile, the large crocodile, with its master having disappeared, is going to fully submerge itself and flee. Some of you guys may be able to see the direction it goes up into this direction, but it is fully submerged under full cover, and it's going to try and get away from this encounter.
How much damage do I take?
4 if you succeed on the dex save.
I rolled a 13.
Yeah, you succeed. 4 damage.
And you just shot fire at me?
A 15-foot cone of fire came directly at you. Yes.
Roulette, be careful. You know I can withstand your lightning breath, but your fire breath, that was too much. Too hot. You burnt my Tavi a little. You're gonna have to fix it.
Roulette's just kind of standing there, briefly stunned by herself, hand still extended out.
I'm gonna walk over, psionic pulse as I do to get some HP back. And Roulette, what just happened? Why'd you hit Jiri?
I tried to use a firebolt, but I'm not sure what happened. And Critter, I don't know if anything else visually changed.
I think the visual descriptions you showed were adequate for this situation. But certainly a surprising thing Roulette seems to have done.
I'll like pull off my glove because I am clearly looking at my hand. I pull off my glove a little bit, which I'm assuming is fading a little bit after having done that. I don't know what that was. It's something to do with this, but I still don't know what this is. Jiri, sorry about that. I hope you're okay. It didn't seem to hurt you too much.
But now I'm wondering what kind of other breath you have. Maybe you have poison breath.
I have no idea. That came from here, but I'll fix your Tabby. Sorry about that.
I kind of reach out to grab your hand because I think this is my first time seeing it, right?
Yeah, because I think I've only shown the ladies so far. On the back of my hand, you see like a weird subdermal whirling pattern that's like there, and it, like I don't know, it's just like a weird optical illusion almost.
Yeah, and it doesn't truly shift and move, but as your hand moves, like you said, it's almost an illusion. It looks like it's writhing and moving, but when you stare at it, it just seems like a static tattoo almost on the back of your hand. Very tribal-like pattern.
I want to ask you about it, but we're 10 minutes past, so
I wanted to end on that.
Save it for next time.
Yeah.
Perfect. So next time when we pick up, we can maybe see to the aftermath of this skirmish or what have you, and then otherwise continue on to the Weeping Willow, which you know is very close. But
Cool.
perfect.
GG.
Gay.
Good stuff. Some interesting info gleaned from the Chiron conversation.
Dude.
I'll chew on that if there's any food for thought there. But cool.
A misstep in life. The cycle will continue.
Nice job managing a complicated combat.
Yeah, it was a little more chaotic than I intended, and so I hope it was like, and some of my NPCs grouped up in a weird way. I'm like, sorry guys, it's taking a while to get to your turns, but hopefully it was okay.
No, it was good. It was fun.
Yeah, you guys you guys interacted with the space really well, I think. Toby's control water definitely was not something I foresaw.
Shout out the water walk too.
Yeah, the whole place would have been difficult or non-traversable terrain, or swimming speeds required, that kind of thing.
I don't think we found the bullywug's eggs, so we're gonna have to do that on.
And crush them.
I'm gonna want to try to search the whatever. If the Yuan-Ti's body is there after you transform, I want to search it, but I don't know if it'll be there. Look. Maybe it'll be in the scraps of your husk.
Oh, when she ate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see to the aftermath when we pick up next time, but for now.
Ooh. Cool.
Thanks.
GG.
Peace, gang.
Happy Sunday!
Happy Sunday!